Everybody, hands up, up and up, up and up, up and up. When you say we, hands up, up and up, up and up, up and up. The press go fast and for this. Threaten this what all we know. Yes, we'll tear up for this. Threaten this what all we know. Everyone police, mash up this what all we know. Boom, anywhere, any venue, anywhere, all we go. Boom, hands up like fitness. Show the world, make everybody witness. On the road with a band of big, and the girls waistline just gifted. One things we know our people business. And if I put them out now quick. Around here we don't support no mischief. Cause it's party time we can't miss this. Boom, no trust how we say but we want from. Up in here, they back we don't chill while we calm down. Up in here, we not quite to live till it's all done. Up in here, find a girl and come cause we want one.
Do like that. Let me see you do like that. Big white, do like that. Let me see you do like that. Do like that. Let me see you do like that. Big white, do like that. Let me see you do. Girl, take the walk. Give me a jam. Pull on your waist. You whip me hot. It's 2 away. Inside our back. It's on a lip. That is the plan. Girl, I love your habit. I love your habit. Girl, I know you have it.
You must develop a sense of confidence, and you must know and remember that parliamentarians are your servants and that you are the lords of the land. And so I ask you to put your hand on your heart, every one of you, and shout after me, I am the government. Louder, I am the government. I am the government.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Lennox Smith, a pleasant good morning to you. A pleasant good morning to each and every one of you that are locked on. Murphy Law, but you know how it is. But let me say a pleasant good morning to each and every one of you that are locked on.
Yes, indeed. Pleasant good morning to you as well, my friend. Are you hearing me loud and clear?
Loud and clear.
Yes, indeed. Of course, these things happen. As Andy rightly said, Murphy's Law. When something has to go wrong, it will at the worst possible time. That being as it may, does not take away, of course, the quality, the commitment, the dedication, and, of course, making certain that your favorite program on a morning comes your way. Some say now is a morning cup of coffee. I mean, and that speaks volumes as to the extent to which the diaspora and, of course, the locals and regional persons and others, institutions as well, depend on the ground report. That being as it may, excuse me, see, Murphy's Law at work, and, sometimes not even the...
Don't choke there. But what is the latest, my brother?
Yes, indeed. Let's go straight, of course, to what is the latest. Let me make sure. Keyshawn, of course, Walcott, 7th in Olympic javelin finals. Well, of course, wasn't able to make it on the... He came 7th, so he wasn't able to make it on the medal podium.
He will never, ever, ever be able to make it. He catching his tail since PNM power. Our next government have in power and Keyshawn go get our power back. For now, all Trinidad athletes, them in trouble. Them doom. Rauli, some them.
Yeah, well, I see Rauli sent congratulations to the 400 meters should I say athlete who came fourth. So any port for a storm, I suppose, and And that is where we are. Of course, Dr. Rowley celebrates mediocrity. We have seen that. We have seen that from their policies and programs. Of course, I think the most glaring example of that is when he decided to move the 400 open scholarships to 100 open scholarship, and has the audacity to tell us that things have improved when we put a large sum of money into either the Ministry of Education and or that of Community Development, and then revisited a try and tested exercise invented by the PNM under Manning that has failed. The Equal Opportunities Commission will tell you that, in order to provide bursaries, according to him, for persons who more than the 300 that he took away, but controlled and determined by Rowley and them. And clearly, it is one for, again, political manipulation, and therefore the promotion of mediocrity continues in such circumstance. No objectivity, no competition, no. Once you are PNM and you have influence, you get your son or daughter to go to some university, come back with a half-picked degree, and a job is waiting for them in the public service so that they can engage in activities that are not only undemocratic, but promotes the PNM and to keep them in office. A clear case of what I have often described as auto coup, engaging in auto coup. But it cannot go on for long because mediocrity only has a limited shelf life. Eventually, the best in Trinidad and Tobago will have to emerge to save this country. So all the shenanigans and all of the manipulation of the institutions of the country in order to keep what clearly has now become an obsolete, Jurassic, incapable of responding to contemporary needs of Trinidad and Tobago will come to zero. No doubt, mediocrity cannot prevail over meritocracy. That being as it may, of course, America's team missing again. So it seems as though there is this team that recently was lost and found, and now, of course, the same team is off again. I know, Andy, you may have some comments to make on that one.
I want to know, if they was lost and it's a big America and they find them back, how they going to say again, I'm punting go with them? Who go with them? Cheng Yang Wang up there in North Korea or something? Who go with them?
I have not read this story, but Milton Tate, the same.
I hope we partner who always cussing.
Yeah.
But I hope we partner who always cussing Kingsley. He loved the Democrats, but I forget Jairaj. You know the young we foreign partner, and he always got I don't know why somebody ain't called some sense in this Kingsley. You think about Trump is a loser. He's a wicked man. Oh my God! I don't know how people Trump study Trinidad. Kamala Harris in America and Kamala in Trinidad. Oh, I don't like. But man, them out there who's activists out there, they're bad too. You know, boy, they're easy.
No, but what comes to my mind is that, you know, there is a saying, when you cry foul, or when you talk about something that really doesn't exist, but it falls, but you continue, of course, to repeat it. Sometimes, when in fact it has occurred, people don't take you seriously. There is a possibility that this is such a case, because by reading a very short article, let me just read it quickly. The mother of Anissa Joseph, 15, has reported her daughter missing for the second time in a month. Onella Joseph said her daughter left home around 1:30 a.m. on August 8th. Just over a month ago, on July 7th, Joseph was reported missing by her mother. She was last seen entering a maxi in the Maracas area near her home. She was
Right,
found.
Maracas St. Joseph?
Yeah.
Maracas St.
I suppose it's on the north coast.
Right, and when she was missing a month ago and she get fined back.
Yeah.
What's the story with the fine back? Give me idea. What's the story?
The article is saying she was found on July 20th. And it simply says anyone with information can call 800 TIPS or contact any police station or share the information via the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service app.
All right, well, ask me what I think she is.
That is why I paused, because I want to hear your considered view in such a circumstance. Is it accidental? Is it that such a thing could happen, twice? And of course, there's a picture of the person. She seemed to be very mature, beautiful young lady. So I'm asking you the question. Having said that, what are your views on this? I mean, twice in 1 month.
She's not in the hospital. She's all right, and all those various things. She checked the station. She checked the hospitals. Right. She had to check her family member, some family member of some friend that good with the family or good with her. Other than that, the number one is, I telling you, we have to be straightforward,
Go ahead. By all means.
30. I say no more. 30.
I hear you, my friend. It's too convenient to be otherwise.
Mommy, I don't understand. All she do is follow the 30. 30. And simple. Oh God, the 14, 15, the run away, 16, 17. Oh, 30.
Let's go on. I'll pause there. I don't want to cast any. I don't want to add to, of course, my own perception, which clearly is consistent with the analysis that you have just provided us with. But that means, as the Health Ministry, 666 dengue cases, 6 deaths, so another death to add to the 5 that was previous. So once again, 666 dengue cases.
Oh God! You remember when me and you when I didn't know how to concentrate on LENNOX?
Yeah,
remember we were somewhere.
Just about 200.
600 and something, you said?
Yeah. When we started off this thing, it was about 100 and something.
Oh, you said 666?
Yeah, 666 dengue cases. Yes.
Oh, dengue.
Dengue. Yeah, the cases.
I thought it is more. I know going to
No, dengue. Well, it could have. It could have easily been that, but 666 dengue cases, because remember we have coined this administration, giving them the double whammy appellation or pseudonym, a false name. That is, of course, the Minister of Health and the Minister of National Security as bearers of death. So the most people that have died in this country is as a consequence of those two ministries. And one can go back to, of course, COVID, even though Dr. Rory would beat himself on the chest and say that, of course, he was too busy saving Trinidad and Tobago that he couldn't focus on potholes. Potholes themselves would have, of course, caused people to die on the roadway outside of health, but of course connected to, in that particular case, the Ministry of Transport. So it appears that not only blighted is Dr. Rowley's administration, but clearly they have lost their way, and therefore, of course, the Al Singh is definitely silent on these matters now. But if they were successful, if as according to their standard, you would have heard him, of course, bellowing all over the place, taking claim for something that the people ought to take claim for, because they would have done the right thing to prevent themselves from dying. But of course, dengue is a different kettle of fish. It's about mosquitoes, and it's about, of course, making certain that one keeps their surrounding clean, especially water that is relatively clean, rainwater in particular, where of course the Aedes aegypti mosquito love to breed in, and therefore we have to be very careful.
Somebody say 6 cases. Somebody said the thing is about 6. Yeah, 6
deaths. 6 deaths.
Yeah,
but 666 cases. Let's get clear. Right? So 6 deaths, but 666 dengue cases. All right? That is the report this morning. Yes. Council for Responsible Political Behavior makes plea for funding. Yes, I think this is a lecturer from UWI who is heading that, one of those social scientists, and they have been, of course, according to the article, doing work in relation to having good ethics and morals as far as elections are concerned and how parties conduct themselves. Here means, of course, the way how they conduct their elections. Yeah.
Is he a recognized something?
He's one of those recognized social scientists commenting on political matters that we are very, very familiar with. Let me make sure and pull the article so that I can confirm that that is in fact so. So once again, the Council for Responsible Political Behavior makes plea for funding. Of course, it is headed by political analyst, Dr. Yes, let me get my glasses, boy. So it is when you these letters small. All right, okay, yeah. Bishnu, yes, Bishnu Raghunath, yes, so that's him, man. Dr. Bishnu Raghunath, a regular commentator on political matters, and of course the article says a political analyst, Dr. Bishnu Raghunath, says since 2016 the Council for Responsible Political Behavior has operated with a total budget of $75,000, and I think that was donated by 2 entities. Let me just read on. Despite this, Raghunath told journalists at a workshop on August 8 that the council had enough money to continue minimal operation until the end of 2025. Raghunath, who heads the council, was speaking during the enhancing ethical and effective coverage workshop hosted by the Media Institute of the Caribbean. But of course, it's the same institutions that we spoke of earlier, the British High Commission, Port of Spain, and the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce. So we know that another entity participated in the sponsorship of that seminar for journalists for coverage of elections. So that is what this is about, and he made the point there, right? The code was first drafted and developed by ROC Archbishop Joseph Harris, designed to have political parties observe civilized, integrity-filled conduct during their campaign. It was later endorsed by 5 political parties. Yeah, go ahead. Let me
that is what Dr. Keith Rowley. So is they come up with that kind of drama thing then?
Yeah.
That Dr. Rowley had an answer and say, well, you're interfering with the presiding officers and them and just declaring their hand and that kind of thing.
That exercise, that occasion, that coming together brought out some of these matters, because remember it was about politics and how elections are covered by the journalists, and these issues emerge. And of course, I'm sure representing his organization, this matter came up, but where of course he talked about the fact that they don't have funding to engage in activities that will further civilize the campaign in Trinidad and Tobago, campaigning in Trinidad and Tobago. But I think he's talking to a deaf person in Keith Christopher Rowley and the PNM if he believes that somehow they will want to conform because nasty politics has become part and parcel of their foray, of their DNA as far as trying to get into government is concerned. Of course, it wouldn't last. Eventually, they will, if they continue on that path, will of course be relegated to the dustbin of political history because wiser and smarter electorates are emerging. The young people will not countenance that kind of what I consider to be betrayal over and over. So Dr. Rowley and them are still in a Jurassic or obsolete state of affairs as far as politics and campaigning is concerned. We saw it, of course, in the last general election in 2020. We saw it, of course, in 2015. 2020, I think, was the greatest when he talked about a hand of fig or bananas being, of course, something that the UNC, he is suggesting that the UNC put that in a basket of food item. The UNC, of course, suggesting that they are more amiable and they are more people-centered and people-friendly and that they will, of course, take care of the least among us. Dr. Rowley converted that to mean that he ain't no monkey and that is only monkey that does give bananas, and they put a bunch of bananas in a grocery hamper.
You understand how deep
yeah. And then, of course, he was able to convince persons who he sent it to the not just political but economic graveyard. All of the people on the southwestern peninsula are talking about petrotrin workers, talking about persons in Lebre, where, of course, because of the decision to close down petrotrin, he singularly and solely was responsible for the deterioration of their circumstances, their quality of life, standard of living, and the unraveling of their families. Some people committing suicide, some have to, of course, go away, some contemplating. They have relegated to the status of poverty or among the poor in this country, and we can go on and on. He did that, and then came up, of course, with the banana, and and he's a proud black man, and as a consequence, use that to, of course, win an election. I think this organization for ethics in political campaigning have much more work to do if they have to depend on Dr. Rowley and the PNM to conform to standards that are civilized, that is acceptable, and that you do not go down into the gutter. Dr. Rowley and they survive as a consequence of gutter politics. No doubt. But we on the ground report will let the people know. So that is the essence of that particular entity. What is it called again? It is called, of course, the Council for Responsible Political Behavior, right? During the course of elections. I don't know if you have any further comment to make. Yeah.
Hold 1 minute. Go ahead, caller. Pleasant good morning.
Oh, we have a caller. Beautiful. Good morning.
Good morning. Andy, Lennox, Mikey, everybody. Good morning. God's blessings to you all. You know, I had to call this morning at a mega time.
Yes.
I noticed they're talking about a big strain of monkeypox now coming. You see, they're having elections in November in the States, so they're talking about monkeypox. This big strain coming. I come in from some part of Africa. You know, they're coming with that here too just now too. Because 2020, they talk about monkeypox at an election time then, and people to scare them not to come out. That is the problem for that, you know. That is to scare the people not to come out with this monkeypox. So they're coming back with the same damn thing again. And they think it's stupid.
Some kind of disease, something they're coming with.
That's right, just keep inside so you don't have to come out to vote. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But we're smarter than them. We know better than that. That's what will keep you back. You hear? So I want to say thanks for the good job all you're doing. God blessings for yours and continue. God bless you.
Thank you for very alerting us because that you cannot put that past Rowley and the They are that.
Hold 1 minute again.
Evil.
Morning caller. Go ahead, morning caller.
Good morning.
Andy, that message, always should keep that on the phone. But now, I would like to hear Kadisha, Anil Roberts, and Munilal, or even the political leader, trying to put some clarification on that.
On what message?
It appears on the monkeypox business.
No, the election chairman issuing the call to chief election. Yeah.
All right. So he is saying another dimension, of course, connected to elections, Andy, which of course we said is just a ruse, just a hoax by Rowley pretending to be concerned about the election and boundaries.
1 minute again, LENNOX.
Go ahead,
caller.
Andy, you know the monkeypox in the country? Rowley and the government, they need monkeypox in the country. They made the monkeypox in the country. Rowley and the government, them are monkeypox. Because the vaccine had the monkeypox. Because mine everything the vaccine and it piece all over his skin. Like a person piece all over his skin. They the monkeypox and Rowley and the 22 of them is the monkeypox in the country. When we show them the index finger, that's the injection for the monkeypox. Have a blessed present day. I beg you for my little borrow still 723-1480. 723-1480. Andy, when Mr. Orlando called, tell him give my call up.
All right, I will. Oh boy. The people like they're ready to talk, boy.
And they're ready to vote.
Yes, Smith. You was explaining something there? Because I don't want to go down and hold 1 minute again. Morning caller.
Once we have a call, we will give way. Yes.
Andy, if they woken up something in America to shut down the election come November, right? They're woken up something. And I want to believe that Rowley will try the same thing according to what he said. That was on my minority time. He go use some excuse to shut down the election, right? And he go try everything in the book to remain in power. And all what we planning to vote him out and everything, and he know people don't like him. He go want to stay in power, and we go have another 5 years of this wicked man. Andy, another point I want to make. If you see new cars on the road, PEF and PEG, Andy, there's a downturn in the economy since the COVID. People losing their work, people lost their work, business are making. Where they getting all our money to buy all them new cars? New expensive, Honda maybe is about $350,000. Toyota is around the same price. Why they taking the taxpayers' money and they're giving people to buy cars? Why this government doing? And they leaving the hospital undone, the schools undone, the roads. Look at the bridge breaking down there. And we're really going on with this country and this government doing the people all this wickedness. And not only that, Andy, there is a video circulating on Facebook where these men want to extort money from a doubles man, right? And they tell him if he had paid the money, they come in and hot him up, and they come and shoot up the man police in the night around 11 o'clock. Andy, you think the police have seen that? How come they don't see everything else when Christmas plays go on video and they lock him up? How come they are getting this man, these people coming and shooting up the man police and extorting money from him? Andy, this government buy equipment to know all who calling, where they calling from, and who calling, whether it's they calling on unknown number or private number. And they could know, they know what's going on. Why are they refusing to get rid of these people who making these calls? And they know how much they're asking the man for $150,000. So Andy, isn't there people in the bank who revealing these sources of the people's account? It's a whole network system, a whole network system where people getting part of the money for doing these type of things. But Andy boy is a sad day, boy. When we have the opportunity, or when we will get the opportunity to vote out this government, we may not get it, because this man loves power. But I have a message again for Rowley. Yes, the things, the wickedness you do, people will fall upon your children and your children's children, or your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren, right? The wickedness you do, people will fall on up to the third and fourth. You can't get away, Rolly. I tell you that. God said that in it that time. You will not get away. Thank you, Andy.
Oh boy, but the lines are open at Trinidad and Tobago. You only will let us know what is on your front burner. Yes, what's on your front burner?
Good morning, Ground Report. Andy Williams, LENNOX Smith, Michael Kerr. I was listening to an interview that Michael Kerr had with the president of the Fire Service Association, and he was stating about all the ills that is plaguing the fire service. But what I want to know is that if these things is be fixed at all, because when they come in here, they hear all these problems, and I don't know what it is give them. All the issues just kind of died down, and you don't hear much of what going on after a certain time that they're in office. And I think that these issues supposed to be beaten on social media, on the airwaves at all times, that what is taking place, because to me, that once this government in power, like these associations be quiet, I don't know if they just take a dose of silent or what kind of pill they just take, but after a while you don't hear nothing going on. Nothing going on in the police service, nothing going on in prison, nothing going on in fire. There are so much issues that need to be raised, that need to be dealt with. And
talk, my brother.
I feel that come this independence, it should supposed to reflect some of the ills that is taking place. When it comes to vehicles and things, we're supposed to see like maybe two fire truck parading on Independence Day, so people could see, well, listen, there is no equipment for the fire service. Prison, no equipment. So when Independence Parade, you see 2 vehicle, 3 vehicle, well, definitely, listen, these service don't have the equipment. But somehow or the other, the people who in charge of the service, there's one the government to look so good that I don't know whether they just pick up thing and fix up thing and everything is like they just get done for the Independence Day parade, So my take is that I hope the issues keep on the front burner. I hope that they continue to highlight what is plaguing their different departments and not have it go to the back burner, or when you come here you start to deal with, you're talking about it, and then 2-3 days after everything done, so I hope that a lot of the issues that you raise will be dealt with. Thank you, guys.
Bang, 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 bang.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and LENNOX Smith.
News on CNC3. In response to Tobago's unprecedented murder toll, the Chief Secretary announced a series of crime-fighting initiatives for the island. Yesterday, Fali Augustine announced the Tobago House of Assembly will rent 2 large fishing vessels to restart border surveillance and patrols. While the responsibility for national security primarily lies with the central government, Augustine said Tobago is prepared to lead the war against criminals. He said acquiring the vessels is crucial as the illegal smuggling of firearms poses a significant threat to national security.
We are looking at 2, perhaps, fishing vessels. We won't have the funds to do large vessels, the kinds that the Coast Guard is accustomed to. but we want to procure 2 vessels by way of rental vessels, and we are not talking about those little pirogues.
Approximately 500,000 people are set to be without water from 12 p.m. today as WASA shuts down its Caroni water treatment plant. Affected areas in the north, central, and southern parts of Trinidad include Morva, Barataria, San Juan, Cascade, Port of Spain, Cocorite, St. Augustine, Caroni, Chaguanas, Pinal, and Faizabad. The interruption of pipe-borne supply will take place until 12 p.m. on Sunday to facilitate the plant maintenance of WASA's plant and the north and south transmission network. The authority says truck-borne water will be made available to affected customers. Veteran journalist John Babb was laid to rest yesterday. As family and friends said goodbye, the officiating deacon proclaimed that this world will never see another person like him again. During his funeral, he was remembered not only as a journalist par excellence, but as a loving family man, a devout Catholic, national awardee, musician, and weightlifter. Addressing the congregation during his homily, Deacon Mike Smith questioned who in this country will now take his place.
To bring the good news to people, to touch them, to help them on the journey, to feed them at times, to counsel them at times, to clothe them, to pray for them, and most of all, to be there for him, for them, and particularly the children and the grandchildren and the great-grand, who take in his place now, the life he was living, the love he was displaying, the time he was spending with people.
Those were
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That pastor is right. Who taken but pastor before he dead, nobody wouldn't take his place, you know. The only journalists and them that really and truly organized. And was a fighter like that man, the Ground Report, Mikey K, Lennox Smith, you see the Pitbull, Italian, and Robert, the few that really and truly fighting the godly fight. So you getting on shock. Who other pastors go talk like you and say, hey, who taking the places of genuine journalists that could bring the news? But there are plenty out there. But when the news reach the auditors and them bypass them news and get them wherever news that the highest bidder paying for. It is what it is.
And I think
and
it
the
is
next
up.
issue there that I want to touch on.
I think it's
the next
up.
issue I want to touch on there.
Oh, right.
The next issue I want to touch on there is the issue of the water situation that we crisis that many people be facing until Sunday also. It's nothing different. Only in Trinidad.
But I think
how much time they go don't plant?
We should narrow it down even further. There's only under Rowley. It's only under Rowley. We got a bus on NGC. It's only under Rowley, the Heritage and Civilization Fund lose money. Only under Rowley. Only under Rowley we spend over $200 million to maintain a mothball facility, the nitrogen plant. Only under Rowley. Only under Rowley we have so many murders record every successive year. Every one toppling the one just before under Rowley. That is the reality. And I want to say something about John Babb. I think I have an obligation because when we started our efforts in Laventille to improve the circumstances of the population via the Mobile Laventille Improvement Organization, MLIO, I could have depended on Mr. Babb, the late John Babb, at the highest level, and he would make sure that those issues that we want highlighted be highlighted in whatever newspaper that he would have been in charge of. Of course, later on he was in charge of Newsday. Yeah, that's the kind of man he was. Very, very high up in the journalistic field, but very grassroots in terms of wanting to help. And I share the view of that pastor, that religionist, that who will replace someone like that, because we on the Ground Report, for example, in our pushback, early days of the pushback movement, had the highest amount of persons that ever came out in such a situation, a pandemic, over 5,000 and 9,000 persons around the savannah, and the media was very reluctant, even though they were invited to come around. A man like Bob would have seen that as a real issue that is people-centered and concerned, and would of course have his journalist Sunday on time to of course record that historic event. But that did not deter us. We got tear gassed. 30-something of our members got charged for ostensibly in the big savannah. They're saying that we have assembled and moved contrary to the health regulations relating to COVID. That is the kind of excuse. And then, of course, no excuse whatsoever to tear gas us subsequently. And we would tear gas any and everybody who passing around the savannah at that point in time was subjected. That is the kind of man for occasions such as what I've just described and highlighting it. So I am very, very concerned about who would replace a very amenable and professional and committed journalists such as the late John Babb. So I too want to, of course, pay tribute and credit to that man. I don't think that we have, as I said, people like that again at the highest level in the newsroom and in journalism in general in Trinidad and Tobago. Fearless, committed, and will take the news wherever it leads them. I trusted that young journalists, young journalists and others take a page from that kind of journalism. Go ahead.
But where was John Babb in the last 5 years? He was like retired and not well or something?
Yeah, he was retired and he was ailing. Yes, retired and ailing. I mean, it's 80-something years. You know, he died at. So I mean, he has been there a very, very long time. More than his. And
he didn't train no other journalist to have that kind of belly like he.
Well, it's whether or not the way how journalism has evolved in Trinidad and Tobago, but where the owners of these establishments in the industry are more concerned about who would provide them with advertising dollars to maintain and to maintain their facilities, physical and material, as well as human. And therefore, that is where it has gone. And of course, you have a government, administration, a party that is prepared, of course, to regale them at Balize House, for example, and of course, get them there and then castigate them. And when they go to the diplomatic center, the prime minister tell a fella to shut up, or he is the man who took a picture of him leaving the Hall of Justice and make him look as though he's behind bars. Well, I say to Dr. Rowley that was a premonition. That was a sort of foresight at that point in time, because blue lights and silver bracelets.
But before the blue lights and all of that,
it's
what
certain.
else here? Oh God,
yes. Yeah. I needed to vent that one. Yes, of course. Well, we have AG host retreat ahead of a financial task force evaluation. So, you know, we have that coming out of, based in France, the financial task force, that is an international entity where the whole government's accountable as far as accounting for monies and either defending or hiding persons who may be evading taxes from other countries. Well, there is an evaluation to take place on that score, and the AG, of course, is hosting, of course, persons, stakeholders and players, and so, because we do not have a good record. I think the last time they're saying that in spite of all the corruption that seemed to be reeling all over Trinidad and Tobago. Nobody has been charged, and therefore I think we are on the grey list. We were once blacklisted. I think we are on the grey list, and we are yet to get off of that. Wise, of course, all of these issues are swirling all over Trinidad and Tobago, including, of course, recently. I don't think it would have helped when Dr. Rowley called the spy agency.
But hold 1 minute. Go ahead, caller.
Go ahead, caller.
Boy.
Yes.
Morning, gentlemen. Calling from the barrack.
Yes, good morning.
Morning. Gentlemen, I just tell my wife and children and thing. I say, see me when I dead, I don't want a pastor, pundit, imam, nobody, nowhere around me for my funeral. I want a few of my friends who just take little drinks and thing with me, and 1 or 2 people who are no hypocrite to be in my funeral and get 2-3 pieces of mango wood and burn me and done the talk. Because let me tell you something. If you want to see the most of the hypocrites in the world around you, you see when you see a lie down in that coffin there, it has come out from all sides. And all in a sudden, that's my best uncle. My husband was the greatest. That was my best father. He do this for the community. He do that. You know, when you're done dead and ready to go and bury or burn. Pretty talk from the pastor who never one day see you, because if you see her drop a nice big fat brown envelope in that collection thing there, he want to hear nothing about you. He am getting a Hail Mary, Mother of Grace. But as soon as you're dead, oh God, a disciple of the Lord and this and that and all kind of dotishness that has come with when you're done dead. But lay one day, when you're ailing in your bed, your hospital bed, tell them come now and check you. They always, well, you know, I have a little busy, I have a little something to do, so and I have something to do. And that is the kind of hypocrisy we have been trained at. I never hear about John Bob. I don't know the man. I don't know what he served. But I just always say, anybody need recognition in this country, show me what they really did for the country to improve us from the time them white people them say, hey, hold the key to this vehicle, stay it on the road. And then tell me today, 60-something years after they did that, where are we today and how we have improved and what better condition Trinidad and Tobago is by anybody who hold any sort of position in this country that could have make a change. The Pandey, the Eric William Manning, all of them sort of, oh God, well, you can't cause something in this house.
No. But go ahead, the Pandey, the Manning, the everybody.
All of them sort of hypocrites. So they go come and they go jump out and all kind of big state funeral and all kind of things. Where are Trinidad and Tobago and the citizens today? With all these good things these people did for the country. It's a man all over the world who just make one little contribution to the society and the whole place change. And better for the people, better for the country and all this kind of thing. What it is that these people really do? Who really come out in Trinidad and Tobago and did something to really say, from point A, we were walking, point B, we sitting in a vehicle, and point C, we could relax and survive comfortably and peacefully in Trinidad and Tobago. Not one person in history. And, you know, people has come out and talk about God and whose grandchildren and children and things go face hardship and all kind of thing. I don't believe in them kind of nonsense. I just always tell people, if we say God is the one who responsible for people being born and all this kind of thing, God does make every human being naked as you're born, you just come out in this world. With every faculties, he does provide for you. Eyesight, well, sometimes some people are born without eyesight and things. Hearing, touch, taste, smell, hands, feet, everything, brain in your head and things. God does put you out in the world and say, okay, here, this is my part I did for you. You go now and do your part as a citizen that I put on this earth. God didn't invent glasses for when people can't see. It's man who do that. God gave you a foot. And man invented car for you to take you from one place to the next. And you go down the road and you realize that, oh, here what? The things that happening in our country, like what happened in Trinidad and Tobago, and who waiting for God to intervene, they go wait until thy kingdom come. That would never ever happen. And if you think that some spell going to fall on the grandchildren and things, you have a man doing so much things to you right now and affecting your children, your family, and you waiting for something to happen to, you got to live for about 500 years to see something happen to Rowley children or grandchildren and all this kind of thing. And you sit down right now and waiting for something to come and happen to you. And when we say, let me go out and do something about this, when you see our 10, 20 people come out and holding hand and talking about where they cook and they plant edibles and it's boiling and all this kind of nonsense. What's going on in Uganda? What's going on in Ethiopia? What's just happened in Bangladesh? What's happened in England? All over the world, like is a trend taking place now where people decide that, hey, this type of governance where we was brainwashed and deceived for so long, we have to take back the power from these politicians because politics now global become a big boys club now, you know, where everybody want to make and secure generational wealth for themselves and their family for the rest of their life and all these kind of thing, you know. And they really care about people and betterment for the country. And once them get in that position in politics where they know that how they had this X amount of billions and wealth to oversee and how they could chisel out this one got called that one in Panama, that one got called this one in Cuba, this one got called that one in Venezuela, and they go say, okay, here what, you transfer this so and so, you fix up that so and so, and I hire back and die how we just operate. That is what politics is now. It's not about the people and country and all kind of things. We had this dummy here telling the population when we're in a pandemic, who dead. And he still sit on there with 64 murders, 65 murders every month, and still coming and watching these sort of idiots who just clap for him and tell him, it's all your children who are responsible for this. My children never kill nobody. And if a prime minister addressing a public forum, that means he's talking to every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. So what dotishness we accepting that, oh, he telling me that, oh, it's all your children who are responsible for the crime. It's all your children who are jumping fence. It's all your children who are robbing people. Anyway, my children never do that. And I know plenty people children don't do that. So what kind of dotish jackassness this idiot, bald-head, stupid dotish man telling it here? And people proud to say them as Trinidadian. He complained about Jindal, say all kind of Jindal, I want to come and invest again in the thing. Who it is, make it public to the world that here what? We are terrorists in this country. We have high police ranking people want to overthrow the government by a coup. We have high-ranking politicians with the assassinate journalists and things. Who it is will make that public to the world? Not Rowley. So when you as a prime minister telling the world that how other people will react, they say that this country real in turmoil, by this country is anarchy and terrorists living in Trinidad and Tobago. And that is by he, not the opposition leader. No normal. When we in Rum Shop, we don't talk that talk. And you have a prime minister where everybody listening to, telling the population and the world that, yeah, what, this is the kind of thing going on under my watch in Trinidad and Tobago. And these are that dotish idiot them still have here over there. And then you have the next little short dotish one with thieving out all the money and billions of dollars can't be found. But when you tell them, here what, all your work and all you deserve 4% increase. They're happy, they run gone. When they draw the salary, they get $100 less in the pay than because they fall in a different tax bracket. And that's how dotish it is. You understand? So when this country decide that, here what, forget God, forget everything. If all you decide that, oh, okay, all you too coward, all your belly thin, all you need to eat blasted dal with plenty scorpion pepper, and every day all you running in the toilet 5 times, and all you do feel that all you can go and stand up and do something and say, hey, let me end this thing like how they do in Bangladesh or Ethiopia or Uganda or Nigeria and thing. All you want to do that? Well, there'll be opportunity coming for we to do it democratically. You see all this dotish talk about this one want to split vote and Fali Day and all kind of thing? That would have nothing to do if everybody in this country decide, here what, we're getting rid of this man, and the only vehicle is that really have option, because I don't think it could get more worse than this, is the UNC. Let me forget everything and forget who come to split vote and who come to this and who come to that and all this kind of thing. Do the right thing and put that X by the rising sun. Now, me, I'm no politics man, and I not in no party group or supporter no political party. My way of life is that, here what, I know Trinidad could have been a much better place than it is. I travel all about the place. I see where countries and people who in charge do plenty more for the country and the people than what have been with the resources that they have, which is 1/3 of what Trinidad and Tobago have. And the place is in a better place, the country is in a better place. And the PNM had the opportunity for 35 years non-stop, they waste that. Then they come, they have it for our next couple of years with Manning, they have it for our next couple of years with the idiot where we have here now, and look where we are today. And he's still blaming 9 years ago the other government for all his failures, that he cannot show the country that how he could do anything better for the country. And if all still decide that, here what, wait for God to punish he grandchildren and children and things, or wait for something to happen, all keep on waiting. And then, when you see you had to live 5 more years, where the condition going to come 10 times worse, then we going to see when we were willing to come out and really do something. So take all the time, spend all the weekend with all the loved ones, look them in the face, look them in the eyes, and tell me if the protection all could probably give them, all be able to give them 5 years from now. If all could be able to give them 5, or if the country that all want to leave behind when all dead and go and look for their God, if it is, all going to be comfortable. When God, you sit down in front of God and say, hey, you're done, dotish idiot, yeah. And I tell you, I give you a hand with plenty muscles and things. For when people doing you wrong, they them some clout and done them, you're afraid to dead and you're dead and looking in front of me now. You understand? Then they go realize, but wait, you know, Barack Party really saying something, I should have really get up and do something, you know? And then God just pull that trap down and send you down by Satan in hell.
Yes.
You say, I give you all this thing, all this resource, your brain to think. I give you a hand to pour a sling and shot it down, bust the eye. You ever want to do that. But now you're coming to tell me you're waiting for me to strike his grandchildren and thing now. Boom, down the trap door. Go and deal with Satan. And you're going to meet Rowley down there. You'll do something about it. Gentlemen and people of Trinidad and Tobago, this time is a serious time. We really need to put our differences aside. I shave my head because I don't want to be identified no straight hair or curly hair person. All of my hair in between. Just because I decide that I'm going to take a stance against this division of racial tension. So when I come out and I think nobody can say, hey, look the Indian day or look the African day. They see somebody coming out as a national unity man to represent and to stand for something that is right. We are in a time and a place in this country where people are getting slaughtered, people are getting extorted, people are getting robbed, people are every single thing that you could think happening in Trinidad and Tobago. And if we cannot decide that, oh, let's put our differences together, let me come together as a people, as a country, and bring back this place to some kind of semblance. Because I could tell you, who don't believe in evil, there is evil roaming this country right now. A type of evil that no amount of prayers wouldn't be able to get rid of it.
Wow.
We have to get up as a united coalition of citizens of Trinidad and Tobago and get rid of this physically. And if we don't realize that and continue to feel that, oh, let me sit down and wait for prayers and go and talk pastor and them kind of idiot and them with his only come and look to make money and buy fancy car and wear pretty suit, or they go wait for the rest of their life. I say, and I willing to, anytime we had a call, let me come out and do something. If not, we go do it the democratic way and all put all the whatever differences behind, and let me really decide that let me make a change, and let me make a change for the better. Gentlemen, Have a good morning. Enjoy the rest of all your program. Sorry for taking so much time. I had to
Yeah, but that kind of talk you talk, there is truth. God make foot for we to walk. We decide we could ride horse. We decide we could make train. We decide about making plane. We the people of the world decide all kind of things. You say he make we eye to see. We come up with something which is glasses, all them things. We foot to walk on. We come up with the boots to wear, with the shoes and slippers to wear. He make we naked. We used to come up to make panty and drawers and jersey and pants and everything. But to come up with something to fight this government.
I never see a factory nowhere in the world. They say God living here and he hiring people to build anything, to make gun, to make whatever. I never see a factory. Look, this God factory. He hiring people to come and make glasses or to make wheelchair or to make hearing aid or anything. It's man we make that. And that is the knowledge and the wisdom God imparted on man to come and do things when it's not working right. Talk done. Have a good morning, gentlemen. Apologies. Take care.
Andy, I am absolutely stunned and wowed.
Andy Williams and Lennox Smith.
Go ahead, caller. Pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning, good morning. Wow.
Andy, you have been hearing people calling and saying you're trying to get on for weeks. And you have this caller calling for how long, Andy, man? Oh, God, restrict some of the callers, man.
Oh, God. But when this caller was talking, boy, oh, God. Boy, man, why you didn't call yet, man? The line wasn't light up. Oh, God, boy, why you blaming the pitbull for? Look, when you call, boy, I answer you one time. Oh, God, nobody else was on the line waiting, boy. Oh, God.
But if they hear the man talking, how they go call and they ain't go get you.
No, that to call and I go answer, boy. Oh, God.
Right, let me make a short. Thing.
All right, go ahead, man.
The parliament want to bring 2 boats in Tobago to help with the patrolling. and they have to set out tenders to get these boats.
Correct.
What are the specifications for these boats? And where are the tenders? He want to go on 2 things on his own. And these people mad in a way.
Now, I want to notice that it's a great idea. It's a great idea at the end of the day because he's trying to show some sort of leadership and all them various things. But I also believe, besides it being a great idea, it's not going to have any kind of fruits can bear from it. Right? One, the money that you have to allocate to the tenders that you have to get for how much are thousands of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars to think those boats where it's not in his portfolio, it's in the government of Trinidad and Tobago, central government, the same people that he always saying down with. That money could go to deal with the people of Tobago and many other things. It could give other people like jobs or see about a bread and breakfast place or Pitcher Road and all these things, right? So it's like, going and squeeze out where you don't have what people coming to you for. We want walk. We want this road fixed. We want that. So I had to make a sacrifice now that would not work. It can't. Something is not working alongside the Coast Guard and the National Security Service of Trinidad and Tobago, which would not work with him with that. That is our next boo-boo. And that's the kind of thing that we want to organize and talk to Fali about. Boy, you know what's the best thing can happen there?
Yeah.
Mobilize your damn people in Tobago, boy. Why he so afraid to talk to the people of Tobago to stand up, boy?
Yeah. Have a pushback in Tobago?
Boy, he will never.
And next thing, Fali spent $50-something million to clean up the oil spill. And he coming back and asking for $150-something more million. They about $250 million. Andy.
But he right to ask if the oil spill needs to be clean again.
So much money, Andy. So much money.
But he have to attack the enemy with his soldiers. But in the Grounf report, when we want things resolved, And we just call out the soldiers, the Santa Cruz, the Woodbrook, the everybody that's hit the streets. Why we just do it? To send that message. But where is the soldiers of Tobago and the people that supporting him? Are you all know? But again, let me not talk about it.
Andy, I want to make one last point quickly.
Go ahead.
The people went to oversee America and doing the OBR.
What?
Right?
What?
The Nilal people, they find them doing witchcraft in America, and they're taking the taxpayers' dollars to go and do that, right? The forex money then.
All right.
And these people in Tobago put up some kind of OBR thing for the licensing officers. That's the point that's trying to make. They want to lock them up. You would have a man called Rowley Boson. He went to liquor to and do that. Andy, let me tell you something. Working OBR is unlawful in this. There is a law that you cannot use OBR to destroy people's lives.
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
And Rowley Boson, yeah, nobody is doing nothing. Nobody is doing nothing. But Andy, the amount of wickedness going on in this country, I tell you, boy, somebody, I wonder, Andy, I wonder if Kamala and she shadow ministers taking note of all what's going on in this country to investigate it if they ever come in power. Eh? Are they taking note of what's going on? Are they taking note of everything that the PNM doing? Yes, you see that. Thank you, Anne.
Hey, you see? Look how long you talk and people waiting to talk now, boy. Oh, God, boy. Oh, you talk so long, boy. And
you make me laugh, you know.
You make me laugh.
You make me laugh. I said, oh, yeah, yes, yes, because I was in a kind of mood and you make me laugh this morning. You know that song with Where I Gonna Do Now, Where I Gonna Do, you understand the song just like the man. I want to tell that man, no, Kamlan, them ain't taking no notes. Kamlan, them ain't doing nothing. They sitting down and scratching all day. You understand? They ain't doing nothing. You know, sometimes I just have to wonder what it is people is really be listening with and talking with. Because apparently they'd be closing the fridge door when Kamala and them raising all these issues and them. You wanted if Kamala taking notes. You hearing them, you're hearing them at all the press briefings. You're hearing them at everything, what it is they're raising. But you wanted if Kamala and them taking notes. And then, but let me say it again. I'll say it again. I say it last night and I'll say it again. And if I can say it every day, I'm going to say it. Kamala and them cannot charge anybody when they get into office. That is the job of the DPP and the police, right? They can investigate, they can put investigators, they can launch like a commission of inquiry or something, but they cannot do anything. And I don't know why these people is singing the sing song. I hope Kamala and them do this and I hope Kamala and them do that. And the PNMIs do not charge PNMIs. Look at how long landed sitting down on the DPP desk. Look at how long Karen Nunes, Teixeira, and Andre Montal investigation sitting on the DPP desk. He threw out Manning case because he said Manning was too sick to go to court. But then we see Manning campaigning for Ronald Mitchell in San Fernando and in Skinner Park, right? The Camille Robinson Reggie's handbag money still on the desk. Foster Cummins inquiry still on the desk. That with Harold Smith inquiry. Where is Farris inquiry? Into the witness tampering and with the car. Look at how easy Farris get away with say he sent somebody and they backdate something or whatever. Look how easy they get away with that. And you come in to talk about what Kamala and them doing. Who raised those issues, Andy? Who raised those issues? Was it Kamala and them? But some people just like to hear themselves talking. Right? They raise the issue. They cannot investigate anybody. It is up to the DPP to do that. And as I said before, PNMIs do not investigate or charge PNMIs. They're going to get away with it until maybe, well, I guess if when Anand Ram Logan come back as AG, right? It will be a horse of a different color. and we will see where all these investigations will be sitting or standing or running or wherever it is going. You hear? And the next thing I want to say, and I see people talk about, I belong to no party, and I belong to this, and hey, let me tell you something. I am a supporter of the UNC. I am a supporter of Kamala Persad-Bissessor. I don't come here and make excuses for Kamala. All you know that, right? If I am disappointed about something, I'm not going to come and wash no dirty linen in public. I know who to go to, right? And I am proud to stand up and say I am a UNC supporter. I ain't hiding in the closet, right? I ain't peeping out of the closet. No. PNM do something wrong, and I'm going to stand up and talk about it. If when Kamala and them do something wrong, and everybody know that. When they were there, I talk to a lot of things. Well, on all you all on the other side and on the other stations that I would talk about. But I know how to bring out something. Andy, are you there?
Yes, we are here. You go ahead. You go ahead, Ms. Santa Cruz.
Okay.
Well being said. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, right? I know how to bring out something. I ain't going to point no accusing fingers at nobody. Now, I saw Ramona Ramdial, Miss Rara, Good Friday Rara, right? Who lose internal election 4 times. But talk about how much time Kamala lose elections, right? How many protests Kamala and them instigated in the last 9 years? I want to ask her, and I want to ask all who ask the same question. How much did you instigate? Look at how many protests we had in the last 9 years. Did Ramona Ramdial or any one of them come out and support us? No. But every morning and twice on a Sunday is what Kamala do and what Kamala do. And it's only culture. You know, LENNOX, they only seen and hearing the culture in the UNC, you know. Right? But they ain't hearing it behind it. But they hearing the one behind closed doors in the PNM, with the PNM. But you know what? They so devoted to the PNM. They don't want to bring it out. They wouldn't bring it out. But only asked what Kamala and them doing for the last 9 years. If it wasn't for Kamala and them, we would never have known a lot of things that was going on. Didn't Kamala went to court with the property tax? But you see, sometimes say, I could talk, you know, LENNOX, and you know that.
Yes.
I could bring out information.
Oh, yes.
But I am not Freedom of Information Act for nobody. If all you want to play dotish and ignorance and sit down there and don't get up and find out what it is going on, or what Kamala and I pay attention. I love to read. And that is how you get information. Don't expect to sit down there and ask what Kamala and them doing. I only hope Kamala and them doing this, how they doing that. Right? Read, listen. When they have meetings, go look at all the budget meetings. Now, where I would say in some of them, at least I've been looking at it, LENNOX.
Yes.
I attended the one in Sawa, right? And I, although the place was filled out the night in Sawa, I was still disappointed. But what I look at as well, I mean, that's the Sawa area, right? Sawa area. It should have had more people there. Now, 2 things
Hello? Apparently we lost her. We got a temporary silence. Yes, go ahead. You are back on now, but you have to reverse yourself a little bit. Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
Yes, the internet fluctuating.
Yes.
What I got invited to the one in Sawa, and I went. Right? They came for me and they dropped me back home. I was disappointed because it's the middle of Sawa, business areas and everything. It should have been well attended, but it wasn't, in my opinion. I say for 2 reasons. It was the rain, because we had a lot of rain that day. It was even falling while we were there. And because of the crime situation. People scared to come out. Right? But, good God, all is still, okay, all I could go and listen and come back home early. But you all are not attending the meetings, but yet still want to talk about what Kamala and them doing and what they're not doing. You see what happened, eh? And I'll wind up now, right? What happened? What is happening? People want Kamala to behave like how Rowley was behaving as opposition leader. But they are two different leaders. Kamala is a true leader, not Rowley. Rowley's a blank man. You don't behave like how Rowley was behaving to get into office. And that is why today he cannot govern. Everything the man put his hand on is destroying. You think it was sheer coincidence that Jindal pulled out? And wait until you're going to see what's going to happen to that rice deal and then that new housing project Dr. Monila raised. Wait until you're going to see. We don't want Kamala to behave like Rowley. No, we don't. We want her to behave like a true leader. And all who find that Kamala ain't doing enough, I am asking all you, what are you all doing? Take care, guys. Thanks a lot and have a good morning.
Thank you very much. Well, boy, Mikey, a pleasant good morning to you, my brother.
Well, I could only say wow. The amount of knowledge that these scholars impart and absorb in order to impart, I think it's tremendous. This program can only go climb to higher heights. Good morning, Mikey.
I agree with you.
Yes.
Morning. I agree with you, Lennox Smith. Coming in strong?
Yes, loud and clear.
Wonderful. Good morning to you, Lennox Smith. Morning to you, my brother Andy Pitbull Williams, and good morning to our technical director. Well said, Miss Santa Cruz. Well said. On the issue of Tobago by Andy, I don't want to raise that again. I think to me,
No, Mikey, no. I was waiting for you to come because I know Lennox may throw you 2-piece, 3-piece too. What is your take on it? I believe it's a good idea, right? Fali going and procure 2 vessels to organize and man Tobago water, whether the money is $200, $300 or $2 million, $3 million that could have been directed somewhere else. What do you think? You think it's a good idea? You think it's going to work?
Well,
What's your thoughts on that?
Anything to secure the citizens, anything that is going to stop the blood flowing in Tobago or in Trinidad and Tobago, as a matter of fact, anything that could be part of a solution, I welcome it. But as far as, listen, I may not hear chicken soup, but I am not here to tell you how to make it. I am just giving you points as far as I know it as be constructive enough for you to take, some sense of consciousness to what is being said on the ground report, and you make your move. Whether you take the advice, whether you want to participate, that's your prerogative. I don't have time for that. My thing here, gentlemen, and what is paining me and hurting me is every morning when we wake up, we need to be asking that question, that $500 billion has been spent, $500 billion. And you have to ask yourself, how are you living? How have you been living for the last 9 years? $500 billion, $500 billion has been spent. And yet still.
Big money.
But that big money, boy, anyway. Andy, that big money, that money so big it make you cry. When you hear what the Fire Service Association 2nd Division had to send out earlier this week, the Fire Service Association 2nd Division wished to bring to the public's attention the critical situation currently facing our members, particularly within the Northern Division. At this time, 6 out of the 11 fire stations in this division are unable to respond to fires due to the unavailability of firefighting capable appliances. Alarmingly, on a national scale, 9 out of 23 fire stations are unable to respond to any emergency due to the same issue. And the dire situation is further extended by a severe shortage of essential equipment. Our members, that's the fire officers, are operating with insufficient breathing apparatus sets, which are critical and necessary for every fire emergency. That's right, when you're going there and all that carbon monoxide, you have to have an apparatus to help you breathe. These people are not leaving their loved ones in the morning to go and put their lives on the line so they could just go in a fire and just drop down and become a victim as well. Additionally, there are critical shortages in hydraulic rescue tools. God forbid something happened to you and your family on the highway, the vehicle turnover. There is no jaws of life to come and see if they could rip that vehicle open and save you and your loved ones. Portable pumps and generators for stations, with 70% of the stations lacking emergency power. Moreover, there's a disturbing lack of personal protective equipment, PPE, including gloves and firefighting gear, which puts our officers at significant risk. They don't have gloves. $500 billion spent, $500 billion. Our firefighters, the people who are there risking life and limb to go into these fires, rescue you by any means necessary, they don't have gloves and firefighting gear. And despite the gravity of these issues, the Ministry of National Security has remained silent, as has the Fire Service Administration. You tell me this making sense? You tell me this making sense? 100 writers in Hollywood couldn't write this madness. $500 billion spent. It didn't go to the firefighters.
$500 billion.
$500 billion has been spent. And nowhere in that budget they thought about buying gloves for firefighters. So they must just pull up there and run in. Just run in. You understand? Rock and come in how best you could rescue people. These are the vacation time for the children. God forbid. Keep an eye on them, please. Make sure they play with the gas stove. Make sure they play with matches. Because here what's going on. There's nobody.
Go ahead.
There's nobody to come and rescue you. Understand that? But this
How we like Barrow, Mr. Barrow, we say, well, when they go and they reach up there and God see them, just send them to hell one time. Because he made horse, well, everything that we create is we created. Plenty of the things. We can't see gold, we make the glasses. We walk in and we get in choke, we make shoe. We organize, we used to be in the bush, we make house. Barrow is saying, we can't sit down and wait for God. It's we. It is in our hands.
Yeah, I agree with Barakpo 100%. Barakpo is also saying that we need to unite. Yeah. Now, it is not really that is hindering us from uniting. You know. It is not the PNM that is halting us from uniting. You know. It's a bunch of small-minded, petty people who believe that the spotlight is about them. They don't care. Them themselves is just like Rowdy, you know. They don't know the fact that all this money was spent and you have people, women compromising their sexuality to feed their children, firemen crying out for gloves, police officers crying out for resources. Tobago need help. They don't care. They are just engineered and driven by their petty ego. How come Kamala call me? I want to know what's going on. What the party doing? A bunch of them talking about they find the UNC weak. You find the UNC weak? So let me ask you something. What are you doing to strengthen it? What are you doing to strengthen it? If this is the vehicle that is going to help us to live better, why are you not playing your part to strengthen something that you want to deem it to be weak? And if it's weak, where's your strength? What you have? What do you have? And if you find that our meetings taking place and there's so much people coming out, did you help to mobilize? Did you help to mobilize? Or you just accustomed having a where you're going a corner and you shoo and you eat up yourself and mean like what they're doing, you know. Mean like I find Kamala should call me. I had the formula for victory. What formula you have? So you have a nasty, dirty attitude. And the first thing you have to understand is the easiest way out is never the right way out. Nobody said it was going to be easy. Nobody said it was going to be a walk in the park. And if for 1 minute that you believe that, then you're fooling yourself. What you talk Kamala to call you for? You don't know what you have to do? And if you have a problem and you seeing something as a problem, have you added yourself to be the solution? You talk to Kirk Megu, you call Peter Kanai, you call anybody from Natex, but you're mumbling and grumbling as though somebody owe you something. Stop your nonsense. The only thing stopping us from uniting is you and your petty nastiness, and you have to stop it now.
Well, I noticed Vassenberg recognize that.
Yeah, Vassan recognize that. Many other people recognize that.
And it's good that they recognize it. I hope they're conscious enough to understand that there are no reserve positions. Roll up your sleeve and come in and walk. Because all the people who were fighting, we just simply didn't cut track for you to run your ambition. We cut track to make sure we all live better. We come like the Marines in this fight. We're not leaving no man behind, and nobody is more important than the next person. All are we want to live better.
So true. All of the lines are open. I'm going to give you all the numbers. 225-6644, 225-6644, or 239-5120, 239-5120. Or give us a WhatsApp call. Or send your WhatsApp voice notes at 366-3053, 366-3053. Morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. And where are you calling from? And what's your contribution this morning on the Ground Report?
Calling from South in St. John area.
All right, go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, it is something that I want to respond to, Kingsley. We have to choose a good party to lead our nation, and it's nothing like all these areas that the PNM stronghold is. Nothing is impossible with God. If we have faith, believing that the people will change for betterment, we have the faith in that. It's not nothing like the diehard UNC or diehard PNM. We trust in the Almighty God that people will have a conscience to make the right decision by obeying the laws and making right decisions. So we have to trust like that. In the days of our Moses, again, when he gone inside it, Moses had so much opposition. People still choose and come out of that Ramsey, come out of that Egyptian life, and they choose Moses and they change and they come outside. And it's so true. We have to have confidence in our faith in Almighty God that the laws of the land, people will begin to choose the right party by who obeying the constitution of the land and vote for the right party. So what you're saying is really UNC and PNM, but it's really who obeying the law of the land. And was so true. We have to be more practical because Moses wasn't just on his knees, or all of the people wasn't just on their knees. Moses was before the Almighty God, hearing his voice and taking instruction and governing by the laws of the land and standing on the law, and he get things done. Until afterward, Moses get 10 commandments from God, 10 laws from God to govern the earth and to govern the people, to prosper the people. And it's true about us saying we had to come out based on our constitution, based on our law. We had to act on our own law to bring betterment upon our country. And I say something I don't know. This man come out and say it's part of the Costa Nostra. He's the biggest gangster man in this country, and nobody him highlight that. It is the big gangster man in this country, is our honorable Prime Minister. He says part of the Costa Nostra. How can he make a statement of that? We have anything that we can stand up and tell him about it, or okay, in the court or something based on that? He condoning gangster life in this country. He condoning wrongdoing. So gang life must be rise up more and affect more community. Because check the kind of statement he making to the public. Check the kind of statement he making of people want to take over the government. And all this kind of nonsense. So what are you talking about? He encouraging too much slackness in this country. And this is so true, right? I know when people will rise up and see that we need leadership to better our nation. It's not about the race base. We have to come down from the race base. And leadership, we have to choose right leadership will govern us. I mean, NTA rising up. But what NTA rising up? NTA aiming at all the PNM constitution, all the PNM development, all the stronghold that they have. NTA going after them because he can get the African vote. But it's not like that. The people of this country, the African East Indian, we are one. And we have to look at a party that will lead us into success and betterment. And we have one strong track record of the UNC that they lead better and they do so much because this administration right now spends so much money. And they cannot do even 5 years what the last administration did. They can't do, they can show nothing. And people still on this race base and this party thing, seeing that this government messing up so much with the economy and falling and nothing is going on. Betterment in 9 years, they might do one thing in one area. They might bring no new development, nothing. and people still raise base and party by. Wow, you could take that out, tell it. If they had to win again, and we had to fall hard for PNM to die, we had to do it because they have bad leadership in this nation, bad leadership from history, show you, from way back coming up. So thank you all a lot. It's so true, Paul said it. And it's so true that we trust in God and people can make a right decision in Port of Spain and all the PNM stronghold. You can see half of the population of each PNM stronghold vote for UNC. And next thing, we can't vote for NTA just so. Why? Because we don't know if they qualify for office, if they will handle office, if they will manage office properly. But we have the track record of the UNC manage and handle our money in this nation properly to develop each and every area, whether African or Indian. They feed everybody equally and right. But this government come back and struck down every policy that they help the black people, to help the African people. Lowly come and take back every policy to help our own people and destroy them, and he's doing it worse. Okay, then enjoy it. Thanks a lot.
Wow, wow, wow. I continue to be wowed. Prefer to listen, gentlemen. I think we have a level of intellect here and a level of practicality as well and a level of solution-oriented callers that I don't think, well, I know that no other program can attract. Well done, callers. Today is your day. I would prefer to listen before I make my interventions. And I think you're speaking the language that all of us have been speaking, talking about the talk show host here, Andy, Mike, and myself, but certainly your ability to articulate and to, in your own way, convince others it speaks volumes as to your own credibility, the credibility of the program, and the fact that we are of necessity at this point in time, and we should grow and grow and grow. And you have a duty to, of course, share, and make certain that in every nook and cranny in Trinidad, in the region, in the hemisphere, and in the world, that message reaches these people who are yet to recognize the significance of your contribution. Gentlemen.
Well said. Well said. Who we have on the outside?
All right, let's get who we have on the outside, man. A morning caller. Where are you calling from? What's your contribution on the Ground Report this morning?
Good morning. I want to touch upon something that Michael Kerr just discussed.
Yes.
And I want to begin by asking this very important question. Are Trinidadians wicked to themselves? I believe that Trinidadians, they have no problem with being responsibilized by their government. Michael Kerr, this contribution is for you. There's a term for it, my friend. If you talk to any Trinidadian, they will tell you that property tax not so bad, I was expecting it to be higher. I have actually heard people say this. This reminds me that there is a difference between a donkey and a stallion. No amount of internet access, libraries, or free schooling and textbooks can educate a donkey. Trying to explain to a donkey that $800 or whatever amount they must now pay is $800 less than they have for themselves and their families, or $400 more than they would have spent previously in terms of land and building tax, which averaged around $400, is pointless. They will not understand. These people will tell you, and everywhere in the world that is pay property tax, so we should pay property tax too. This donkey pretends to be unaware that in TNT, you paying for something does not mean that you will receive it. You pay for water, do you always get it? You pay health surcharge, do you go to the public health institutions confident that you will come out alive? Anyone even knows how much is collected in health surcharge every year? These people often have no expectations of what paying this additional money means in terms of improvements in their lives. Come next year, they or their child might die from dengue because the grass is not being cut. Their homes may flood out, and the garbage in front of their home will stew in the hot sun in August. I no longer hold out hope that one day my countrymen will talk like stallions. But what would a stallion say? A stallion would ask questions such as, why should we pay property tax when They will only collect an estimated 500 million if they are lucky in this forward season. That is small change. Some state enterprises lose that in one day because of bad management. 2, why should we pay property tax when there is epic looting all across the country? What evidence do I have for that? Have you seen where $500 billion have gone in 9 years? Despite the largest budgets in the nation's history, people are catching their tail more today than at any time in living memory. 3, why should we pay property tax when the government can't account for $3 billion missing from the treasury? 4, why should we pay property tax when the PNM promised that there will be no property tax in 2015? They said so. Why don't you play that clip of the Prime Minister saying that? 5, why should we pay property tax when there are other ways that the government can earn revenue? How come imposing taxes is the first thing that this government does to increase revenue? Is this the only way to increase revenue? There are several other ways for a country to generate money, namely stimulating economic activity or diversifying the economy, which unfortunately the PNM does not have the intellectual capacity to do. Reducing government spending, reducing waste, reducing corruption, reducing borrowing. My penultimate point is this. Consider that there are hundreds of thousands of public servants employed in a nation with little or significantly reduced economic activity, yet they are all collecting full salary every day. Even in boom years, public servants do not produce at 100%. Why would the government not touch the public service, which absorbs a large, if not the largest chunk of recurrent expenditure? Ask yourself that question. Finally, this is for Michael Kerr. I want to again articulate this concept. It is not my concept. You can search for it. The government of Trinidad and Tobago keeps on responsibilizing the public. This term means, and I'm developing the point here, that the population is expected to bear the burden for failed leadership and management all around them. The public must pay more taxes and receive terrible service. I want to use another word, but I can't. The public is expected to look after themselves as the government and its many arms are either unwilling or unable to do what they have been elected and paid to do. We see this time and time again with people buying asphalt to pave their roads, erecting security barriers in their communities, paying for private security to patrol their community, paying for electronic gates, security cameras, burglar proofing, guard dogs, GPS, water tanks, paying for extra lessons for their child, paying for private medical care, which, I don't know if you know this, but it's a state-sponsored enterprise. Private medical facilities are. And now we have small businessmen who are expected to pay extortionists to protect them from those same extortionists. We have parents who must fork out money to get information that will help the police to recover their children who have been kidnapped and murdered. And now we also have kidnapped citizens. In order to find them, you can't call the police. Now you have to call Hunter's search and rescue team. So yes, I believe that Trinidadians are actually very wicked to themselves. Have a good morning. I won't take up any more of your time. Take care.
Bang, 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 bang.
Well said.
Wow. The entire morning seemed to be filled. The atmosphere, the elephant in the atmosphere seemed to be wow. I'm listening. I await other calls, and as each one seemed to be, I wouldn't say better than the previous, but certainly equal in terms of the high standards that have been displayed this morning so far. Yes.
I know we have some folks. I'll just step away for 2 minutes. I'll be right back. Go ahead, folks.
2 minutes, no problem. Go ahead, caller.
Good morning again, Andy, Mikey, Lennox, and to everybody out there. Now, you know, this afternoon, I think it's 9 o'clock tonight, 500,000 people in this country will be out of water until maybe Monday morning, Monday evening. I don't know when it's going to come back. But my big concern is that since they announced the shutdown, we have been getting a volume of water that we have not been getting for the last 9 years. And I'm not exaggerating, because if we are on a schedule, Andy, we are not getting the scheduled water. You know how many times I called here and said that our water distribution is like a thread, right? Sometimes it's just a little bit bigger than a thread, maybe a spaghetti. And that is what we have to function with for the longest while, right? All of a sudden, Andy, we are getting this volume of water, right? That I'm not complaining. I was happy for it. I did a lot of work with it up to this morning. We have there, right? But my concern is how all of a sudden we are getting this volume of water. Is it that they're punishing us? Is it that they're withholding the water from us? Something is definitely wrong. Or is it that they're trying to drain the Caroni treatment plant? Something is going on. Because as I told you, for the last 9 years, I have not experienced, I don't know for anybody else, I can only speak for myself. I've not experienced this volume of water in Santa Cruz, right? And we know after that treatment plant is fixed or whatever, come Tuesday morning, we will be back to square one. And sometimes we have no water for the whole day. Yeah, if it comes like a trickle. You have to fill up. Imagine you have to fill a cup of water, leave it on your wash basin for you to brush your teeth in the night. That is the kind of living that we are living in this country. And yet still we have water bills to pay, right? But we have observed it. I called it, I told Mrs. Pasabi Sasa about it, right? And she and they're observing it, right, to see what it is going on. Because you see, Andy, if people don't tell them, look, this like what I just said you all here, they would know. Maybe in their area, I don't know if it's happening or not, but I can say it's happening in my area. The volume of water that we have been getting for the past 2 weeks, I wish we would get it after they fix that treatment plant. Because I've never seen so much water in my tap since the UNC partnership government left office. Thanks a lot. Remember, people, it's this afternoon it's going until maybe Monday morning. So, full up. Take care and have a good one, and have a good weekend.
Andy?
Thank you very much, morning caller.
Morning, Andy. I wish all you all the best for the weekend. All you be careful, be safe. A happy birthday to someone. Happy birthday to someone. Happy birthday to me and me.
Hey, today, buddy. Happy birthday, Miss Laukata. Happy birthday.
Very creative, very creative. This is a creative and dynamic morning. Congratulations to you as well, and we wish you, on behalf of the Ground Report, many more.
Thank you very much. All you be safe. Bye.
And Miss Santa Cruz, Miss Santa Cruz raised the point, and what came to my mind is whether we are being fattened, the fattened calf for the slaughter. For the slaughter, are we being fattened for the slaughter? Let's go to the lines.
I feel that.
Mikey, how are you? You know, the lady before Santa Cruz was talking about is we getting punished at the end of the day for poor management by this government. And she's so right. And I said earlier, the Tuareg brothers circus can do a better job running this country than this government, you know, because they make that circus by themselves. They ain't know if they come in or they go in. They look at this foolishness that's taking place with crime. I tell you earlier, East Scotland, that window dressing man, he don't know what he to do. If to ride bicycle or to cook in a cold pot, because they have no answers to nothing. Criminals running rampant. Look at the record number of killings in Tobago. Fadi had to go and hire a fishing boat now. And we all these boats and then we buy for billions of dollars and pack them up in stores way there. They ain't have no diesel, boy. You spend so much money behind it, but no diesel to run these boats. This is the kind of governance we have in this country. And all the crime taking place here. And earlier, the Archbishop, she said, would be telling people to pray. She can't pray about it and solve a crime. She can't solve a murder. Look at the horrendous detection really the police have. What's really going on in this place? And it seems to me that everything this government do, it backfires on them. I was telling this man say things against the sitting prime minister from his party before, that he went to Lokoto and do so and so thing. And it seems to me that when he went there, he released a set of evil in this country. None of them pastors in this country can correct what's going on here for 9 years. They'll be talking about this, they'll be talking about that. But they cannot stop what's going on in this country. no matter what they say and do. And you know what? When the election come next year, what they're going to do? Go and vote PNM. That is them answer for the wrongdoings going on in this space. Have a good day, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Oh boy. What is next?
We have a call because I wanted.
Go ahead.
Yes. Well, I noticed that Mikey evaded, of course, the question that you would have asked, Soling, which is, of course, the investment into two boats for the purposes of securing, as part of the security apparatus. Let me put it that way. I would have liked to focus on the cost benefits analysis, because you raise a very important point, Andy, and that is why not deflect or address other critical issues in Tobago with the funds that would be allocated, and whether or not it's out of existing resources as opposed to a special fund allocated for that Fali has been able to convince the central government to provide outside of touching what is for the day-to-day operations of the THA and the provision of goods and services to Tobagonians. We need to know that. So the cost-benefit analysis, because frankly, if it is that you're using a boat, you're saying that your major problem with crime and maybe contraband comes into Tobago that way, but the analysis shows that it is through the regular and authorized ports. That is to say, when you go down on the wharf and you're taking a boat to Tobago, or from Tobago to Trinidad, there is where the security focus and apparatus ought to be augmented. Most people go to Tobago by that official means, not by fishing boat and pirogue and so on, and therefore bringing the excess, or should I say the exponential increase in crime and criminality to Tobago. So I would want to see the cost-benefit analysis, and whether or not it is that investment is really based on a credible analysis of the situation. You need to augment the security mechanism as far as the boats are concerned, whether it be the cargo boats or the boats that carry passengers, and then of course you go on to the other areas. Go ahead.
LENNOX. Go to the head of the class, or just give me that sometime. Mikey, this guy, by the time you go to the head of the class, with that, at the end of the day, if that will benefit, or the cost benefits to that, to me, that come across like a PNM, you see, and when we talk, people is vexed. That come across to me as just as a PNM
public relations. That's what that come across to me.
Yes.
Yeah, it's public relations.
Elections in the air.
Yeah.
Let me do something for people to like me.
Yeah.
When the main thing, what Mikey always be saying, Rowley, a closed mouth, don't get fed. If you gained all that problems, why you so quiet? And when you was not in that position that you are in now, you was very boisterous. And becoming in that position, everybody know Fali, Duke, all of them, before that position, many of them, secretaries and them, everybody was wanting to be on them very boisterous and what's going on in Tobago. Mobilizing the people, talking to the people, letting the people know wicked PNM is to them. And when you get in that position, it's just ba 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 ba. Your voice, you lost that voice. Where is the boisterousness that you had before you reach in that position?
And in that same,
is what is needed right now.
In that same vein, in that same vein, Andy, we were told that one Tobago has one Coast Guard vessel. That vessel is submerged partially, from the information I have gleaned, underwater. So it's something like the vessel that spilled the oil in Tobago and triggered that cleanup that is taking place as we speak, and the cost of which seem to be unlimited.
Nice.
But that boat, and then of course you are now going to hire a fishing vessel. How would that be adapted for fit for purpose? In other words, how are you going to get guns and all of that on it? I mean, it is a logistical nightmare as far as I'm concerned. It may be better to spend the money on repairing the Coast Guard boat that clearly would have been fit for purpose and therefore achieve the objective. But again, the cost benefit analysis and whether or not that money will be appropriately spent, having regard to all of the nuances and the variables that we have brought to the fore. That is to say, most of your problem comes through the official ports, whether in Port of Spain or in Scarborough.
Nice.
Or at the airports.
Let me go to the lines. Let me go to the lines. The lines are open. All in fact, because again, when you're giving constructive criticism, many people go vexed because they go say, well, stay a blind eye tape. Don't advise him, no. Don't advise him because he go look bad.
No, but that's not the point. If people have a problem with that, they have a station that you could go and call. But if you understand the commitment and dedication and the fact that we are driven by the passion to live better, then here's where you need to be. If you understand that the middle class has been wiped off, then you need to be here. If you understand that $500 billion has been spent and you ain't getting nothing from that to elevate your life, then you have to be here. If you understand that you have now a minister in the national security that could come observer and tell the nation that things that Gary Griffith, whether you like Gary or you don't like Gary, but things that he had there that was working, like Comfort Patrol and so forth, that you would keep it once it's working, then who are you to say that? Because your boss man, the Rasta man, didn't say that. The bald head man who is the Rasta man boss didn't say that. So who the hell is Keith Cotton to come and say these things? When it could have been done a long time ago. You dismantle it because you don't like Gary. You dismantle it because it came from Kamala. You don't care about us. You don't care about us at all. So come on, let's stop playing games. If you have a problem with the Ground Report Network, then go somewhere else. If I bruise anybody who go this morning, well, that was my intention. Because you can't keep going around saying that the UNC is weak and you are doing nothing to strengthen it. You're doing nothing. So are you an asset or are you a liability?
Or just a blabber mouth. A blasted blabber mouth. Good morning.
Pleasant good morning. May God continue blessing you all for the wonderful job that you're doing, enlightening the country from right from wrong, central here. Andy, what I'm saying is, right, we would like to know, as a citizen of this country, we would like to know why they have the court closed still. Because at the end of the day, it has no COVID, and the court is remain closed, and they're doing this thing online. And even the police officers on them too are saying the same thing. There's nothing, they don't know why they have the court closed still. We understand, yes, PNM is in power. Yes, PNM wants to dictate. Yes, PNM wants to do everything the wrong way and want to be right. That is why we keep pleading together with you all, saying it every single day. Let us come together and get rid of this dirty, can't run our country, block-headed, empty-headed, PNM bad mind government out. We begging all you, let us come together, please. What we have to do again? All I want to just keep taking pressure upon pressure upon pressure. So boy, why are they making one man mash up a light cell? So this wicked man called Rowley, Satan is going in hell. I don't know where he's going when the time comes. Can we have a space for this man? And he cheering down the line. They all celebrate his wickedness. Every single person who feels any pain that this man is doing, their tears is falling upon this man and his generation. You understand what I'm saying? This woman real belly telling for this man. Yeah, why I'm telling you, I can't see one man with kids so boy. He tells flooding God face over. I'll forget the time when you see me going to the family on the beach, boy. When I see this nice view, going places, you have to be looking over your shoulder. Business people have to be paying no tax. All I'm forgetting about nice time, so what about goodness? All I'm forgetting about goodness and niceness. Every day that's a nail like a hammer and a nail in all your head. All they let you get rid of the PNM. All they let me get rid of this government. They're no good. They're like parasites. They're wicked. They want nothing good for people. They're taking anything and everything. Everything that go wrong, they're sweeping it under the carpet. But I'm telling you, every long rope have an end. And God is wearing pajamas and he don't sleep. Because if we surround God and we are not all going, you know what will go on in this country? No Jah, no star. God alone, no. The pain you're feeling. But you know what I'm telling you? Every long rope have an end, and his days are numbered. Just what I'm telling you. That wicked man called Rowley. His days are numbered with his donkey head blockaded and the ministers around him. You know what I'm telling you? The days are numbered. Let's call the gate and time. And we go shine where Bali say go. You wicked man like you. And it's that.
Next caller, pleasant good morning to you.
Yes, indeed. Wow, wow, wow.
Listen to your phone. Listen to the phone.
Morning.
Good morning. Lower the volume on your device.
Lower the volume on the background, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, morning, Sean and Tobago.
Yes, good morning.
I need Mikey and listener. Yeah, listener. We in the self-public government, do more or less. This ugly, wicked, boy, man. Mash up a whole country. You understand? Because the really money go on, because I hear Mikey talk about $500 billion, and it's that. Because, you know, man, there's nothing working in the country, nothing. Just imagine a whole population that suffer. A whole population that suffer for water. 500,000 people. This is where it's there for governance. Well, really, we in itself for tax dollars, We in itself for tax dollars. Trying to be going back the money, you know. It's all our money, all our money, all the government, we want it back. And it's that.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Who else? Hey, boy.
Is it possible we can get Miss Khadija Amin on this morning? Is it possible we can reach out to her? I know there's some challenges in St. Augustine, dengue, extortion, robbery. I don't want that story to die down at all. A lot is happening and she raised those issues. Please, anybody close to her?
No.
Switch up and put back on mic. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Is that we lost him? We lost him, Andy?
Yeah.
Temporarily?
Yeah, that's temporary.
Anybody getting on to her, please.
And Mikey, it's better you repeat what you just said. I think we had a temporary disconnect.
Yes. Anybody getting on to, if we can get on to the Shadow Minister of Rural Development, Local Government, Khadija Amin, the MP for St. Augustine. A lot of things are coming out. She highlighted dengue, extortion, robberies. The crime issue is bad. We don't want that story to die down at all. I mean, she's bringing it into the spotlight. And I think it's only fair that the people here know exactly, get an idea what's going on out there. I mean, a lot of challenges, and that's what we're here to cover. Is there any way you can get her on, Andy?
Yes, I'm trying here.
He's making an attempt. In the meantime, of course, one of the areas that I believe we didn't ventilate sufficiently and ignored, of course, is the question of the situation with the fire service and the personnel there and the lack of equipment, including, of course, protective ones. We remember there was an investment in a wooden ladder, and of course the minister who has been relegated to the fire service as opposed to the police and so on. The substantive minister clearly is the replacement that Dr. Ali provided. The fake substantive minister, talking about Hines now, when those officers abandoned their dormitory, remember this man stood up in our faces, not blaming the lack of air condition and not blaming that matter was to be addressed 3 or 4 months prior. He then converts that to the people, and then was so patriotic. That is what Hines said. The people were so patriotic that they took the downtime to clean and to improve, paint and so on, their dormitory. That is the level of dotishness that we have, purported to be a minister of a significant component of the service delivery that citizens expect in times of emergency. And I thought I should mention that as part of the collapse that we are seeing as far as the fire service is concerned. Wooden ladder investment
We get onto,
and the
Kadisha
comment
Amin.
of the minister.
Nice. We get on to Kadisha, MP Kadisha Amin. A pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. What's going on today?
Nice.
Well,
Go ahead, Mikey.
a lot is going on. We had to call you because I know things are not well in your constituency, and we want to thank you for highlighting that. You lamented on the crime situation, extortion, robbery, what have you. Tell us, please, give us an insight here on the ground report.
Well, I can tell you this situation has been taking place for months. I first became aware of it when I interacted with the Carney roundabout vendors. You remember when the government wanted to move the crab vendors there at Carney, and I supported them.
Yes.
Yes.
And they stood their ground and they were able to stay and continue to ply their trade. And during that interaction, a number of vendors indicated to me that they were facing this taxing where criminals would visit and the extortion demands, and they felt that they had no action from the Carney police, which is the nearest station there. And it seems to be spreading to St. Augustine South. Now, in the last couple of weeks or so, the last 2 months or so, in the Page area, St. Augustine South Page extension, which is across by Tunapuna in the school there, Orange Grove Road, that entire area, several businesses have had to close. So the criminals would make contact either in person by visiting your establishment or or by calling your phone and tell you have to pay a certain amount of money, and if they don't comply or if they are late or they don't pay enough, they would come in the night and shoot up their house. And the police is aware of it. We had several incidents. We had people who had to migrate, pick up their whole family and migrate, close down their business. We had people we had home invasions. And we have had police patrols. We have had meetings with the police, with the community, and they are aware of it. We had police patrols, but I think the criminals are probably timing the police. And as soon as the vehicle leaves or the patrol leaves, they make them move, and then they just exit off the highway because that area is very close to the highway, and they make their escape. So we have been facing this, and another problem that complicates it is that there seems to still be some jurisdictional issues between Tunapuna and St. Joseph Station. I've had victims who tell me that when they call one station, by the time they call back, next 15 minutes or so after the incident, they are being told that they have to call the next station. That has made the situation worse, but also I am concerned because a number of people expressed that they did not have confidence to go to the police because they feel that their information will go back to the perpetrators. We also have the situation where several of those businessmen would have applied for firearm user license. We're on the waiting list for years now, and they cannot protect their home while the bandits can get a gun and come and hold them up very easily. So that all of that leads to that sense of injustice. And I have had double vendors being taxed, furniture place, the agriculture shop, the hardware, and a lot of these are small businesses, in some cases second and third generation businesses that employ people within the community. And now these people are now jobless because the businesses are shut down. So that entire area is living in fear. We have had several families pick up and migrate, with haste, take their children and so on out of the country because they were threatened with kidnapping, they were threatened that they will be killed, and their businesses and their homes were shot at the night and in the wee hours of the morning. The latest we have a video circulating with Pablo's doubles. Pablo is a fellow who works real hard, brilliantly selling doubles in St. Augustine. His 3 children work in the business with him over the years. They now sell doubles. They are second generation doubles vendors. And they are well well known in the St. Augustine area, Tunapuna Market and so on. They also support the community, not just by employing people, but anytime you have events and so on, they support the community. They are involved in sports days, all fours, all these things. So a lot of people who found out about the situation, they just wake up one morning and no Pablo's doubles by the market. And when you make inquiries, it was revealed that they were victims of this extortion scam. So, as I say, it is very prevalent. The police have not seen to me, I don't know if they have made any headway. I have communicated with the senior superintendent who indicated that cybercrime may make some breakthrough soon. But in the meanwhile, everyone lives the chair.
But by the meanwhile, go ahead, you reach by the meanwhile.
By the meanwhile, everybody living in fear.
Yeah.
My office is on Tajir Road in the midst of it as well. So people walk in, they come, they want to tell you confidentially about what is going on because they are so fearful.
Mm-hmm.
And how is the MP for the area? Is he working with you when it coming to this? Is he even aware of this? No, well, not the MP. I know you the MP for St. Augustine, but talking about the Tunapuna MP, Mr.
Esmond Ford.
Esmond Ford. Yeah, because remember he's the Speaker of the House.
Yes.
Speaker of the House.
This thing is prevalent on the East-West Corridor. I understand businesses along the Eastern Main Road and in the Tunapuna constituency also affected. I don't know if Esmond Ford knows or cares. He has never made any public statements about the issue. So I don't know how much he's representing what is happening to his constituents. But I am going to stand up and continue to stand up and call for justice and call for police action.
Well, of course, information reaching us is that he's always on time for funerals and weddings and so on. So maybe maybe that's why he's probably so busy.
At the rate we're going, I, as an MP, although I don't attend funerals, I don't want to attend the funeral of any of my constituents who died under these circumstances. So attending a funeral after people dead, to me, is not really representing them, you know. You have to stand up for people to save their lives, and people's lives are at risk right now.
Yes, because basically what we're hearing from you, Khadija, Miss Amin, is the fact that you have business owners who are being targeted. They fear for their lives and the lives of their family. They cannot get licensed firearms, no FULs, so they are just basically sitting ducks. And the only option then is to migrate and leave. And so what are we going to be faced with when most of these businesses pack up and, the people in the community are affected, those who are on the breadline and those who rely on these small businesses to help them, of course, when it comes to employment?
Yeah, well, we are already seeing the effect where immediately people who are employed in those businesses, whether it is a food place, a mini mart, we have agricultural shops and so on, they have already lost their jobs because the business closed up. They have no choice. They have to look for another job. But you also have, in terms of the long term, the effect on the community. And let me tell you, in St. Augustine, we are surrounded by PNM MPs. I have not heard one government minister make any statement concerning the situation. And it is prevalent and is also affecting their constituents. It is not only happening in St. Augustine. On the eastern side of New York, Camille Robinson Regis. On the northern side is the Tunapuna Esmond Ford. On the western side, we have St. Joseph, Terence Dialsing. I have not heard one of them make any statement concerning the situation. And I think it is high time for them as government ministers to get on the ground and know what is happening and make some kind of statement, work with the police. I mean, I am an opposition MP. I mean, we work with the police, but I don't even think the police have the resources to really deal with this situation in the midst of murders every day, home invasions, robberies, and other serious criminal activities. They don't have the resources to to deal with all the crime that is happening. And the buck stops with the government. And who is the Minister of National Security? You put one clown, he doesn't make enough jokes, so you put another clown. To me, that's what I see it like. And Pete Rowley as Prime Minister doesn't care. He's flying out every Monday morning, playing golf here, playing golf there, and criminals just running the route because there is no justice. When something happens, they may or may not make an arrest. The case will take forever. The out on bail continuing their activities. So citizens who are law-abiding now are the ones who really after free because they can't even get a license, firearm user license to protect your family and your business. So how are you? You're just a sitting duck. A teenager could get a gun, an illegal firearm, and come and rob you, hold up your family, kill you, and you just be sitting down waiting for approval from the Commissioner of Police.
Kadisha, for all intents and purposes, St. Augustine has been seen or designated as the tertiary education capital of Trinidad and Tobago. I know some time ago, not too long ago, UWI had a security issue. So has there been, my question to you is, has there been complaints of those persons who are looking to advance themselves academically and and attending classes and having to be in the area simply because they want to advance themselves? What is the state of affairs there in terms of students and their security?
Yeah, we in the St. Augustine area, you have the University of the West Indies, but you also have several tertiary level institutions. Students come from all over the country and they rent apartments in the vicinity of these institutions, and they become targets for criminals, for rapists, for bandits. They snatch their laptops, they take their money, cell phones, and so on. And that has been happening for some time. But I think it is getting worse because the prevalence and of the criminal persons. A lot of parents are now opting to drive up to UE or drive to St. Augustine every day to drop their child off to school and then pick them up on evenings rather than letting them rent an apartment. So what we also have is several persons who own apartments have been, of course, an additional cost to them. They now have to put security measures in place. So they are putting in additional cameras. They are hiring private security to patrol their compound and so on. So that, of course, will send up the rent in some cases because it's additional cost to the business. And that is one of the things that is also affecting businesses as a whole, where because of the additional cost to the business for security reasons, you cannot just go to the bank. You have to pay to get the service to escort your money from your business place to the deposit in the bank. You have to put up cameras, you have to have monitoring systems, you have to have internet so that you could see what's going on from outside. You have to hire security to stay on the compound, armed security, and even security guards, their lives are at risk. You have to hire security firms who will patrol the vicinity. That is as well as a cost that residents as well have engaged. St. South, for instance, falls within St. Augustine constituency, and they have gone through the procedure to legally gate their community and hire and pay for patrol from private security when this is the job of the state. And in other parts like in St. Augustine South, they have had residents meetings where they are considering doing the same thing. But because of the cost, even to have private citizens as well as to have business, when they wait out, all these things are causing them to decide to close down their business because it's not safe. You pay an additional and your profit margin becomes smaller and smaller. So your students who are usually in UE there, when you have these criminal activities, it creates a damper on even for the small and micro entrepreneurs, the person who will sell popcorn or fried chicken on an evening. Even those persons are also impacted because when your students are not there to buy from you, campuses, it affects economic activity.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. And just a personal thing, because it was always a beautiful thing to, if you want to get from the highway to the Eastern Main Road and vice versa, you had, as a public person, ordinary citizen, you were able to drive through the campus and end up where you would want to go, either side of the south and northern borders. Has that been resumed, or is it still closed? From your information, or just for my personal thing, because I love to take my son through the campus and so on, and let them, get them excited to be able to go to a tertiary educational institution of such a great renown. What's the situation with that?
Well, UE has been, for the Curab community, I mean, I grew up in Curab, and UE has always been a place of reverence.
Yes.
You could go there and exercise on an evening. A lot of people walk in UE. You could take a shortcut and drive through from the highway to the main road or vice versa.
Yes.
You could go on campus and get anything to eat quickly. You could get coffee. Even have a little meeting in the food court. It's a place of convenience, not just for the students, but for the surrounding community.
Yes.
And UE has been that historically for decades. From time to time, UE security will use their discretion and limit access to students only, students and staff only. You will have to show a student ID.
Okay.
On campus. And from time to time, they will be more firm with those measures. And I respect them for doing that to protect their students and their staff members.
Yeah.
But it also, as I say, has an impact on the community, because those people who grew up around UE know that there's a vibe around the campus, and there are things that residents do that become part of the students' lives over the years in terms of culture. The Mill Street Recreation Ground is close by there. They have had power celebrations for many years. You have people who do drumming and arts. You have the steel band right there in that vicinity that is culturally part of a UE student's life.
Yes.
And that interaction in terms of the community and the students, the community and the faculty, the staff and so on, that we are losing because we want to keep your students safe. So I commend the UE police for taking measures to keep the students safe in the midst of what is happening all around. And right in that area, you also have the extortion taking place as well.
Yeah.
My closing comment is, you are a giant among a set of imps that is surrounded around you. You have to continue being a giant, keep up the hard work, the fight for the people, because as you say, that's why I asked about the MPs surrounding that are in parliament, that are in government, and you alone as a woman, young person, had to organize to fight for the citizens, including their own citizens, and they continue to play a blind-eyed or continue to play politics. Ms. Amen, you keep up the good work, keep up the fight, keep up the struggle, because the issue is PNM is the problem, and we have to get rid of the PNM.
You have to get rid of them. You have to get rid of them for your own safety. This is not about whether you like UNC or like PNM, This round, you have to vote for yourself, vote for your own safety, vote for your own children to get laptops, vote for your own roads to fix, vote for betterment for yourself. That's what you have to do this round. So if you're afraid of crime and criminal activity, and you so like PNM, you ready to dead? You ready for your children to dead? That's what you have to think about. So you have to get rid of the government. You cannot keep dodging. We can't continue to live like this.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you much.
Yes, indeed. Very enthusiastic. Yes.
To you and the entire team.
No problem.
There you go, folks. That was St. Augustine MP and Shadow Minister of Local Government, UNC Shadow Minister of Local Government, Khadija Amin, highlighting what is taking place in her constituency and environs. She spoke about business people being targeted by the criminal elements, being, of course, asked to pay what is known as protection tax. So extortion is taking place, and so much is happening. And I mean,
students at
we're
risk,
quite aware of it.
students at
Yeah.
risk. I think that is
Students
crucial.
at risk.
Yeah, the future of our
Very
country, the
crucial.
intellectual
Yeah.
class in the society at risk as well.
And I hope people understand that hearing all of these things and knowing that $500 billion has been spent, $500 billion, and nothing positive has come out of it, except the fact that it may have lined the pockets of themselves, their friends, their family, and their finances. Somebody tell me the people don't like to hear when I say that. Yes, your money, my money, we children future. It gone to them, their friends, their family, and their finances, whether they like it or not. That's right. When bacteria / Barataria and Port of Spain and them calling here, not one of them could tell you where that $500 billion gone. Not one of them. Firemen don't have gloves. They don't have boots. They don't have a protective gear. In the interview with the Fire Service Association, Mr. Guy, he said that sometimes they had to respond to fires in their own personal vehicles. In their own personal vehicles, they have to respond. This is not out of Haiti or Afghanistan, you know. This is right here in Trinidad and Tobago. So when you hear people talking that nonsense, but and the UNC week, and what are you doing to strengthen it? What are you doing to strengthen it? Who waiting for Kamala to call them? What are you doing? Oh, it is that we can't hear from you. People, this thing is serious. Who we have on the outside, Andy, because we can't go yet. We started late.
Yes, I agree with that. Gentlemen, the insect vector department in that ministry, as we talk about dengue, etc., I got a complaint yesterday that these officers, hard-working officers, especially at this point in time, the country needs them. They have not been paid their traveling allowance. Yeah.
Of course, I'm not surprised. I don't think anybody's surprised about it.
They have not been paid. They are saying, so you have exacerbated the situation, and it is no surprise why the numbers of cases have moved from just about 100 or 200 just a couple of weeks ago to now 666 with six deaths. It started, of course, with 1 or 2 deaths. I mean, It is shambolic.
Yeah,
it is incompetence.
We know about all the deaths and have you, but can somebody tell us how much money that the government has received by giving out ticket citations or whatever to people who haven't cleaned up their yards and what have you? Because they have no insect vector vehicle to send out there to spray, but they have people to go out there to mako your yard. To tell you that they have mosquito here and mosquito there, and they will fine you for it. How many people have been fined so far? Who's on the outside?
And we are learning that those very people are not being paid, but they're using their own vehicles.
Morning,
yes, good morning.
Morning, gentlemen. Morning, Trinidad and Tobago.
Morning.
Mikey, I like that point you're raising about they have people to mako your yard. And then came to mako people's yard from the pavement to assess property tax too?
Yes.
That's true.
Right. So it have enough makoing going on in this country. And they can't mako the crime hard enough. I see Farley had to go and get some kind of fishing boat to assist the Coast Guard. Can somebody tell me what year we are in, please? If we're in 1924 or 2024? Because I am totally...
And I think...
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, caller. Go ahead, continue.
Yes, because if somebody can...
The internet was your phone sticking a little bit.
No.
Go ahead.
Well, to quickly respond.
What I'm
go
asking
ahead.
is, I saw ahead.
To quickly respond, I was merely making the point, hilarious as it may sound, in his efforts to initiate that situation. He then said that it's not the ordinary pirogue and them he looking at. I don't talk.
But the point I am making is we have Coast Guards, we have surveillance, we are in 2024.
That's right.
And I literally feel every time I open the newspapers or read the headline, we are in 1924 under some imperial rule that cannot get, that not interested in the plantation owner, the plantation workers. Honestly, this is what Trinidad has become.
Rip Van Winkle. Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's right.
Yeah.
But people have been asking me about the unemployment rate. Is it real? Is it fake? What the 3.2% unemployment rate? I want to take, if I have the time, to explain. Yes, it is true, but it is misleading. Do I have the time this morning to explain that?
Yes, we were late according to Mikey, and when Mikey speaks on this program, we have to listen. So go ahead. He's a taskmaster.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, ma'am.
All right. Let's assume we have a country called On the Way to Venezuela. That's the name of the country. And that country has 15 persons in it, just 15 persons. 5 of those persons are not in the labor market. One was the ex-prime minister, and he was thrown into jail, so he is institutionalized. One was the ex-minister of energy. He is somewhere in an institution in St. Anne, so he is institutionalized. The other 3 are basically one going to school, one retired, and one is a housewife or husband, right? So we have 5 persons there. We have 10 people in the labor market. 7 employed, and Andy, myself, and Mikey unemployed. Okay? You with me so far?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
The unemployment rate in that country, 30%. 3, Mikey, Andy, and myself, 3 out of 10.
Yes.
10 in the labor market, 8 employed, right? 30%. Mikey and Andy get fed up. They say they're able to go and check no work because for the past 6 months, they find no work. So they fell out of the labor market. The labor force now is reduced to 8 persons. Myself, right, who participating by being unemployed, and the 7 employed. 1 out of 8 is now the unemployment rate. That is 12.5%. So the unemployment rate moved from 30% to 12.5%. And guess what? I still don't have an income, Mikey still don't have an income, and Andy still doesn't have an income. The country is no better off, and the people are no better off, even though the unemployment moved from 32% to 12.5%. What the government isn't telling us is how much the labor participation rate has fallen. And the labor participation rate, in our example, moved from 100%, where all of us were participating in the labor market, to 80%, a decline by 20%. In a recession, in any recession or depression, an unemployment rate standing alone is a very misleading statistic. And to put another piece of statistic on the table, when the PP government under Kamla Persad-Bissessar was in office, the labor participation rate was over 64%. Under this government, the last statistic I found, which was at the end of 2023, is just about 55%, and that is not being explained to our population, our people, because I have very, very learned people asking me, how come we have full employment? We do not have full employment. We have an unemployment rate of 3.2%, which is accurate, but very misleading as to what is happening in our country. So I just wanted to provide that explanation to our citizens out there, because nobody else seemed to want to explain it, and nobody has explained it enough that the average person understands what is happening out there. We see it when Royal Caribbean comes and you have a long line there, or when they have some recruitment taking place, you see it. And yet it is explained the way as well. We have full employment, 3.2%. So I wanted to leave that there for all of us, and have a pleasant day, gentlemen.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And she is so right.
Yes, gentlemen, because
police going taking people, or army going taking people, or the coast guard going taking people again. What you go see? If it is it have a thing for cruise ships, so to pick Apple, you go see thousands of people will be coming out very early to partake in some sort of employment somehow or the other. So she's correct.
You're right, Andy. You're right. Long lines. People want
yeah.
to get work. Go ahead, Lennox.
And it is the methodology that they use to calculate this. That is what she's fundamentally speaking to. If people stop looking for work, then of course they are part of the statistics. But if you are unemployed, but you're looking for work, they don't consider you to be unemployed. that is what she is referring to there. So you looking for work all over the place, and they are saying, well, listen, no, you cannot be part of the unemployed. But you're looking for work
because you are a professional job.
Professional job hunter.
You're looking for work, but
a professional job. But you're looking for work. So you're not. When you get up in the morning, you have something to do. You have to look for work. So you are not unemployed. You're looking for work.
I mean, it is ridiculous.
Nothing they get when the end of the month come unless you get at work.
Yes, exactly. But
in the meantime,
the system doesn't calculate that. Doesn't capture that. No.
That's right.
So thank you very much, ma'am, for making that complex situation very simple. And again, I am only wowed this morning by the level of intellectual, what I consider to be prowess and grey matter that has been exhibited this morning.
Go ahead, caller.
Good morning.
Go ahead.
I just want to. It is when you are no longer looking for work, you are not part of the labor market, because they say you're not looking. There are two elements that make up the labor market. Either you're employed and you're unemployed and looking for work. So if you're unemployed and looking for work, you're part of the labor force.
Yeah.
If you are,
but that's madness. I have always been baffled by that.
Guys, for that.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much, of course, for that intervention, because we were able to, of course, show our knowledge and awareness as to the system and how it is skewed in the interest of people like Rowley and they who would like to take us down a road that simply does not exist. You heard it by in the budget, the mid-year budget review, by the minister, who says that we only have 3% unemployment. And we laugh. I mean, it's ridiculous, and everybody looking for work all over the place and begging.
That's how they just do the statistics.
Yes.
That if you're looking for work, there's part of it.
Yeah.
Looking for work is part of the statistics.
Yeah. If you're looking for work, you're employed.
So, but that's one. Okay. So if you're looking for work, you're employed. Wow.
According to the statistical way that they do it, and the Central Statistical Office provides that, and then they say, I got it from Central Statistical Office, and I got it from the central bank, etc., etc. And that nuance is not explained. But people catching the ant and then and everything else in order to put food on the table, simply because they were either recently dismissed or couldn't get a job at all, even though they were looking.
Who's on the outside?
Yes, indeed. Of course, the lines are open.
Lines are open before we make our way out. The lines are open.
Yes, it's Friday morning, people. Remember, it's Friday. Friday.
Morning. Orlando here. Andy, I want to ask a question. Wouldn't it be cheaper or easier to take two of those boats that park up in Storby and fix it and get it running, than go and buy whatever new boats that Tobago want to buy?
I would think so. I can answer that for Andy. I would think so.
Just not us. We have some more voice notes.
Sorry about that. Sorry, I thought. Sorry, I thought it was a genuine call.
Go ahead, caller.
Yes, and we mustn't forget the thousands of young persons who went to try to get a job as a prison officer when it actually had traffic jams. Thousands of young people went to apply to the prisons when they had some vacancies for prison officers.
As well as for police officers as well. That is what one of the things that the caller referred to as recruiting drive.
Yeah, well, I was just because the whole thing was a spectacle, up on that highway there.
Yes.
The amount of young people, right, looking for jobs.
Yeah.
You understand? So I just wanted to remind
people. It belies the impression that 3% unemployment almost means that there is no unemployment in the country. Good morning.
You know.
Go ahead, caller. Listen to your phone.
Go ahead.
Yeah, listen to your phone, please, and lower the volume on your device.
Mr. Amin was saying that people are being extorted in this country, right? But what are coming to do? The same businesses now extort them too by taxing them. So you're getting it from the criminals, and then Imber coming straight and trying and extorting you. So business people are getting it both ways. And there's no protection by the police against the criminals. So what you want business people to do small businesses? Not to do what she say, pack up and leave. People have no other choice in this place under this regime of non-performers, you know. Or you realize that your life is not sure, neither is your business, because them ain't business with small people. Them only seen about conglomerates and 1% people, right? We can haul as far as I'm concerned. Have a good day, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Wow. This morning, boy.
Yes. People are so acute. I am very. It's an honor to be part of this program.
I think we have a voice note.
Okay, go ahead.
Not UNC to come back in this country. I give all my support to your program, and that is only God to bring us out of PNM. Okay, so keep up the program and all the hard work and the effort you all puts out. I'm Shanifa from Grandy.
Morning,
Grandy.
Mighty K. If that Paul called day and talk, I don't know if it's Paul they call day or coming late. He talked to him with sense, 100% sense. Because we black people, we only living in hope. We hoping to get this, hoping for that, hoping. I ain't saying nothing wrong in praising your God, but we living in hope. And Paul talked to him with sense. Majority of them think that come about in the world is man-made, them down to the food and all, man-made. Majority of the food that they have now is what man-make, and we're getting sick. These are a lot of ways we get, whatever you put in your body when you're young, will affect you when you get older. I tell you that before, he talked to him with sense. You feel the queen going and say and hope that she daughter or she son turn the next king or queen. Them don't prepare them already for that. But we don't do that. We always teaching the children to live in hope. So watch. Kudos go out to Bar boy. The man talk 1,000 and 1,000,000% thing with sense. He talk real thing. He said, you need to get up and stop balling ball. Go over take care of this. Where you feel? Somebody hit my child, I guess we'll go over take care of that person. I had to take care of that person. So he talk real sense. He make my morning fellas, morning again. Hear me out, Andy. This is why this question. We had this argument in work every day. When we work. All them people, think about it. For we to be here today, all them black people, all them, they call we slave. I know we are something before slave. There was king and queen before slave. I ain't bashing what I believe in. But where Jesus was, boy, and we people them getting licked with whip and they do me all kind of thing, torture. I mean, where Jesus was. Now I know this Jesus thing is a fake. We had to get up as human being and fight for you. These people before we ancestors sit down and kneel down and pray all day and see if anything happen. You gotta get up and fight. Everybody come out and march. You're crazy. I mean, we challenge the police for them and all go back down too. So we had to fight for you out here. So I tell I give back $1 million today, boy. He talk real good. I know now, boy. We need to come out of this mindset, but we still enslaved with that. And then people jumping up for emancipation. Emancipate what?
Andy, I forget to also mention that I know somebody personally, and the man say he have one wish. You understand? The man in his dying bed at the moment. The man say he have one wish. I asked him, I said, where's that wish, boy? I wish God could grant you serenity to get more health and strength to live more life. The man say he live your life already, you know. But he have one wish to see PNM out of office. He want to live. He begging God to actually live to see that time that PNM come out of office. You hear? He ain't even asking God to grant him the serenity to live more Because he don't know, being under the PNM, the living is like if they're done there already. I forget to mention to you that earlier on. You understand? I forget to mention that to you. The man say he have one wish, and the one wish is to get rid of the PNM for good. You hear? He want to live, to dip his finger in the right place to get rid of them. You hear? It's so sad, but that is reality, Andy. And it's that.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So let the lines are open, 225-6644, 225-6644, or 239-5120, 239-5120. Okay, we have WhatsApp call or send a WhatsApp voice notes, which we are playing there at 366-3053, 366-3053. Send those voice notes, man.
And remind them, because today is Friday. So they better call in.
Yes, yes.
Yes, because I have my agenda. Mikey like to explain it, so
yes.
I will leave it up to him.
Yes, people, you can't forget today is Friday, so make sure you have your camera on your phone working. Get your pictures come. He's also autographing whatever you have, pictures, whatever. It's all about LENNOX Smith this evening, dance class, the marathon. Yes, those of you who want to burn some calories, you want to lose some weight, take part. He's going to be the instructor as always, and he's going to take you through generations of music, man. So don't forget, the oldies but goldies, catch our very own LENNOX Smith this evening. This man is
For
without
those of
alcohol.
you who just want a good laugh, because laugh is healthy, very healthy. And what a man.
Come this evening.
Just bend up. Do a kind of broke foot kind of
and turn up and all kind of thing is unbelievable. Doctors sometimes just come and say, but this is not humanly possible. How is he able to go back and touch his spine and then spin on his back and get back up and move? And I mean, this is unbelievable. National Geographic has come down here with cameras. They've taken pictures. Don't forget this evening, LENNOX Smith sweating to the goldies and the oldies. LENNOX, what time you starting?
I look for that. And very early, gentlemen, around 6 o'clock, I will be there until whenever.
Hey,
yeah, whenever.
No, but I want to sell him out. He does go early now, Mikey. Remember, if he go there late, when he go there late, and everybody expected him all when it get dark. When he go there, is everybody, all of them went besides coming to watch him dance and smile and laugh. All of them want him to spend money on them.
Oh God! To have friends like Ole boy, oh gosh boy, you best say hand on boy. People, that is a friend. Don't have any friends like that, eh? But gentlemen, it's always been, a pleasure. It is a pleasure, of course, to be part of your team and of course your colleague. I was very impressed. I cannot overemphasize that, of the level of calls, should I say callers, presentations this morning, and it could only grow. It could only get better as more and more get the message and they participate. Yes.
And please share with people and let them know where we are. Caller, good morning. Sorry for that. You're welcome. Go ahead, caller.
Two fishing
morning, Silver Fox here.
Two fishing boat, and all they will be geared
Good morning, Tobago.
Yes, man, Silver Fox.
Silver Fox. All they going to be geared up. That's Silver Fox.
The first thing that you do, Andy, is to secure the sea bridge. There is where the problem lies, in the sea bridge. And the second thing, Fally should do, it have Coast Guard vessels just need diesel to go forward. All he could do, if he want, organize and put diesel in that and go things. It spending money for those two boats he talking about is waste of time. Right? The people want jobs. The people are getting no jobs. Right? Only old talk. What the young people to do? Eh? What the young people to do? Who vex? Who vex and who vex laws? I don't care who vex right now. Right? I am talking my mind. And brother, I hear you talk about what Jesus was. Just imagine Jesus come to see about us and we crucify him. And we have wrongly do it with all kind of things, and we are doing nothing about it. Eh? They're gonna tax we house now, and we still sit down here talking. Eh? How important these fellas is to us, more than we serve. Eh? What we to do? People of Trinidad and Tobago, or you get real, and let me get out there. Let us get out there. One talk about Moses. We the people make Moses and see the promised land. After Moses do all the work. Yeah? We torture the man. We torture Moses. When God tell Moses talk to the rock, Moses gets so vexed until he hit the rock, and the rock is Jesus. Eh? Poor fella couldn't get to see the promised land. Eh? We is we own problem. The things we are causing it on ourselves. We calling for Kamala. We could do the things Kamala could do, and the things Kamala can't do. We are the people. We are the people of the children. We are the people of the latter people. Eh? We have to get up and fight for ourselves. We can't afford people fighting for us. We are big people. We are mature people. We know what's right and what's wrong. Why we sitting there like we don't care? We have to survive. We are the survivors. Eh? Look how much sperm dead for we to come and with that stupid still. Eh? What is wrong with us, Trinidad and Tobagonians? Stop the complaining. Action is needed, not complaining. Trinidad and Tobago, let us get real. And Trevor James, I'm telling you this, thank you for no help. I'm thanking you for no help, right? I have a situation at my home and I ask for your help. You're not responding after that. Thank you. Where horse meat, snail meat. My grandmother always said that, where horse meat, snail meat. And one day we go meet. Don't care how it is. This is God's world, not ours. Thank you.
Gentlemen, have you heard the talk? Have you heard the talk that? Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, caller.
Go ahead, caller. Yes.
If this country stay here, don't have a bunch of dummies who ain't know nothing. They call everyone from other country where they want it and do business. Them fellas and the double men, everybody. Double men. Remember that? You get in your double the same way. Communication, that's what this PLM do have. So now they want to tax the double men. Boom, and they were getting I go on with that.
Yeah, doubles man and the nuts man how to get taxed. As far as input is concerned.
Doubles
man and the nuts man how to get taxed. All of them how to get taxed according to as far as input is concerned.
Just imagine that. And of course, well, is right in line with what I was going to say earlier. There is a talk that once Rowley arrives in hell, the devil runs away.
Well, of course, the devil don't want competition.
I thought that was extremely creative and very practical, graphic as to the nature of this man. He's simply despicable, he's horrendous, and he clearly has lost his way, a total lunatic in the highest executive office in the country.
And there was a caller, a female caller, who spoke about as far as trying to feed a donkey and what have you. Yeah, and she's correct. You can't tell me that, all right, you living in a house. You expect your husband, your wife, whoever, they have to account for money. And if you see money's being spent, no food in the fridge, none in the cupboard, the light bill get cut, the telephone get cut, the cable get cut, You want to find out what's going on?
Of course.
$500 billion was spent. $500 billion, $500 billion. And you ain't hearing nothing good coming out of that? Firemen need resources. Police need resources. Nurses need resources. I mean, come on, man. And you still trying to do what? Defend the indefensible? You still trying to sell the PNM? Anybody trying to sell the PNM had to be some of the most wicked people on this planet. $500 billion was spent. $500 billion. And you still had to stay up late at night and try to figure out what you're doing with the future of your children and how you're going to pay these bills. $500 billion was spent. Ring it in the ears.
Of course.
When you see them in the grocery, tell them. When you see them in church, tell them. When you see them out and about, tell them. Don't let them talk nonsense to you. Say, hey, where the money gone? Because they haven't benefit from the money either. They have no teeth in their mouth. Look at the hair. Look at the hair. You have to get some industrial strength relaxer to relax the hair. The toenail missing. The skin ashy like they could start a bushfire, and they're trying to sell you that the PNM is good. $500 billion gone, and we have nothing. Nothing.
Oh boy, and then remember the 8th was the meeting between the an attempt was made by the government to force public officers of the Board of Inland Revenue, BIR, and Customs and Exchange to make a choice as outlined in Section 18.2 of the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority Act. And it all boils down, the PSA is saying no organizational structure, no human resource policy, no job descriptions, and no job titles at the TTRA. So all of that, and they're putting all of that in place, and they don't have none of them things they're saying, boy. Oh boy.
Yeah, it is typical of this government. That is how they move. They move Vike. They move capriciously. They move by knee-jerk response, and they seem to always be in some kind of what I consider to be cylinder, distinct and different from the reality out there. We see that, of course, with the introduction of these various taxes, because if it is that you are focusing on homes, you are focusing on residents. Well, these people are fixed salaried, and when you would have increased, of course, electricity and water, I mean, it is putting pressure on the fixed salary of these people. What do you expect? You must have an unraveling of the society, even though Dr. Rowley and they sort of puerilely and infantilely would like to tell you that, of course, that should not cause people to engage in crime and criminality or try to get an extra buck by, of course, engaging possibly in trying to get a textbook from a bookstore for which one cannot pay and would prefer to go and steal it. I mean, and those are some of the repercussions. They're totally aloof.
No structure for the enforcement division, no list of officers under this division, no list of officers under the division, boy, and no official salary ranges at the TTRA. Them are nothing.
Nothing is a vacuum.
The PSA and the CPO on the 8th of August, the association attended a viral meeting today, which is today, with acting chief personnel officer CPO, right, Miss Wendy Barton, to address pressing concerns regarding Section 18 of the TTRA Act. But at the end of the day, them custom officers and all of them, the scene where going, the PTS, the PSC and all seeing, Public Service Association, all of them seeing. Again, a closed mouth don't get fed. At the end of the day, same way we could tell Fali, we have no choice. It have no decency is out of the door. You have to fight for what you want.
But gentlemen,
public servants,
yeah,
all they have to fight for all they want to know.
yeah, that's right. And there is
All the custom officers, all they want lost, all they work, you know.
yeah, and there's a common denominator as far as the agenda of this government is concerned. The Financial Action Task Force, for example, is visiting Trinidad to, of course, to do an evaluation. I think we have not yet, or we have just moved from the blacklist to the grey list. We can't move from that yet. But of course, that particular meeting, gentlemen, is largely they want to do it only because it is IMF instructions. Those are IMF measures. Yeah. Go ahead, my friend. Sorry about that. Yes.
Turn it down.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good morning,
caller. Go ahead.
Listen, I hear Fally talking about two ghosts from Tobago, right? But why Fally didn't try using some drones instead? Because the country cheaper. Think about it. I'm going.
Right, but don't matter what Fally tried to use. He will need the support of the National Security Services. Even if he buy diesel for the boat, he still have to talk to the Coast Guard head or Hines and them or the Prime Minister. All right, drones. Hey, look, we see crime. Hey, and he still had, unless they're going out there with the guns or they're pulling some private citizens who have licensed firearms to organize because what? All right, your papa drone, yeah. Look at that house breaking and shooting there. Yeah, you going out there? You going out there to
would a drone be there 24/7, first and foremost? And at any rate, the PNM tried that already. I can remember the blimp, and it crashed to the ground.
Call it trying, you know. At the end of the day, somebody had to throw something at the board and hope it stick. Because Heinz can't do it. Scotland can't do it. Rowdy certainly can't do it. So the ideas have to stem from the people who are affected, and they throw out some ideas. After $500 billion has been spent, $500 billion, boy.
Look, get some hand scanners and go on the port. Go on the port in Port of Spain. Go on the port in Scarborough, and have an efficient team of persons to scan these people. It's like suggesting that the crime element coming in from the sea, from illegal ports, and that is not so.
Lennox Smith, he still would not be able to do it because that is the work of the National Security Services, the port authorities under the port, which will be under a government ministry or minister at the end of the day. Fally is opposite to the PNM. Where would they? Don't matter what he tried to implement, he will need permission.
Well, I am not going there, Andy. I am going with respect to the idea.
Let's let the caller make a contribution.
Oh yeah, sorry about that, caller. Sorry about that.
Gentlemen, but it's quite all right. I know it's desperate times now for this country. We under the pump, and Mr. Fally will try his best, but he will make errors along the way. But at least he's talking out. You know, desperation coming out. The people of Tobago desperation through him is being unfolded. But I mean, the scanners have to be reintroduced. The ones that were on the streets that were simply at the side, left at the park to the side and monitor activities as they go by. Those things are effective. They're being used worldwide. There's a Coast Guard boat rusting in Tobago, but the amount of money is going to cost to refurbish that, because after a while, those diesel engines gum up, and they need proper servicing and maintenance, and that is a insurmountable cost depending on how far along it was left unused. It's not a simple matter of just trying to start them and go out there anymore with some diesel. It has to do with they didn't mothball them then. They didn't continue to service them while they were packed up. They just neglected them. That is this government right through. That is clearly how we identify this PNM government, a neglectful government. They don't care nothing about nobody. And it has gotten to a stage where that the politicians are playing that they are experts in security. But what they should have done instead of keep Scotland, they should have called in Scotland Yard, bring in the experts from Scotland Yard and pay them whatever it costs us to save this country. Because if we can't account for 25 billion US, and it's simple like that, then this country has money. And a proper government, a proper UNC government, could restore this country with that kind of cash in 6 months' time. We back up and running, and the people have to understand that. And clear, as it knows on your face, that is so clear. I thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you so much for your contribution.
Yes,
Oh
indeed.
boy. But the most important thing in truth is that he's talking out. Even if he fix the boats, he put the diesel, he this, he
Yeah,
that.
he's saying something.
Does
Yeah,
he
he's
have
saying
the
something.
permission to be able to say, well, yes, Coast Guard, I want you all to be out there manning the borders. Go out, Coast Guard, go. Or he will be sending somebody in the Tobago House of Assembly to just go on the boat because he put diesel and he fixed it, or the Tobago House of Assembly fix it. So it's just weird, but at least he's talking out. I'm not seeing it
So the
happening.
next consideration is what you said there, Andy, that whether or not he will get the funding and the support from central government. Of course, there's another nuance that one can interject into the discussion or into the argument, and that is maybe he knows that he will not get the support and therefore can blame central government for not adhering or conceding to his recommendation.
That's a good point, Lennox.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Anybody else on the line?
Politics,
We're closing
politics,
up at 10 o'clock.
politics.
Anyone else? Who's on the outside? Morning, welcome.
Oh boy, nobody on the line yet. Hey, let me say a pleasant good morning to my boy Dennis. A pleasant good morning to you, man. Morning. But I have no one on the line.
Well, Dennis, good morning to you, Dennis. And to all the good folks that are locked on, good morning indeed.
Well, I see
And the insect vec people, the insect vector officers have asked me to, through the ground report, to convey to the Alsing and others that they need their monies. They too are under the gun, and we would love to get their money. The insect vectors who are working hard out there, the insect vector people across the country who are responsible for dealing with the mosquitoes, Aedes aegypti, and of course preventing the further spread of dengue and deaths and possible deaths.
Right, they need the money, but the other call and next call for them, if I got Mikey say, they need vehicles to go out and spray.
Well, they use their own vehicle because remember they're asking here not for normal salary, they're asking here for traveling. So I assume it's because they're using their own vehicle to go and treat with it. That is why they have a traveling allowance, which of course they have not been paid, and they're asking for payment. And that has been so for a very long time. Something like the CPEP workers and the URP workers that are suffering in silence. And when call us and let us know what is happening there, except for one or two exceptional few.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, all right, if the gate is to go out and organize and watch to see all who are old tired with water and this and that and how if it go. But the next thing that had to be done is that when they go and they realize, all right, yes, here have a lot of mosquitoes. Right, we need to deal with here. They make the call, so they do the work, they make the call, and then the people don't have no vehicle to spray the place. You ain't see the mayor. I've seen one or two mayors and chairmen on vehicle like they get something and spraying the place themselves.
Well, they may well ask them to mount such a device on their private vehicle, but I suspect that they're going to get a huge no, because if they can't get paid for the normal traveling, why the hell I go and mount something and to get what? To get further damage to my vehicle and no payment or tardiness in payment? No. So they have so they are singing a quagmire.
I going to be like Mikey today. They ain't getting paid. They look for that. It's good. You really want pay? Who really? If anybody really wants something, this is. Are we getting like a country, or the people of Trinidad and Tobago getting like a country, like things really that bad with them, and that they really fed up and can't take no more?
It's a wonderful.
Well, I'm glad you made that point because I was told not to call any names So that speaks volumes as to what you're referring to, whether or not they really need it. Because if it's me, I don't think anything could stop me from saying who I am, because I'm not getting paid, and my circumstance is deteriorating so rapidly that if I continue like in belt tightening, you pull the belt so tight that your waist might sever, might bust.
You're trying not to be victimized, but yet still going to be victimized. Right now,
That's right.
Everybody in Trinidad and Tobago is being victimized by the government. But yet still, the breaks in being victimized when they already are victimized.
It's ironic. It's an oxymoron. It's a built-in contradiction that at times I have a difficulty in understanding. If something is wrong, it is wrong. And if it is right, it is right. And if it is in between, then you need to address it. To say that, I am suffering because of the state and the conditions of non-payment, etc., and then still remain silent and take all of that whilst your circumstance deteriorates, I think is an exercise in futility, and frankly, it is foolhardy.
Mikey, you can take us out.
I'm trying to just get some information here. I believe tonight is St. Joseph. So the UNC pre-budget consultation is in Aranguez. All right, Safras, thank you for that. I don't know if you can give us the venue, because I want to make sure and tell the people while we're still on air quickly. It's Aranguez. What's the venue?
And persons who feel that one or two persons are attending is some reason why it ought not to occur. No, at these engagements, you wouldn't believe the kind of information that are gleaned by people who see it necessary to be there, and therefore a kind of brainstorming exercise take place, particularly if it's a smaller number, and they get their 2 pence in and could be part and parcel of the national grid in terms of having to resuscitate this economy. So people, whether it's 2 or 3, I will not be critical of that, but of course it's more than that, but two or three persons attending these exercises, I think is tremendous, and commendations to those who see it fit to go, because your contribution, I'm sure, would have found its way in whatever document and whatever future policies and programs to resuscitate or resurface Trinidad and Tobago's economy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We are the main stakeholders.
That's right.
So our input must be recognized. Yeah. And that's what the UNC is doing, giving you an opportunity. So anybody who have a problem with it as well has to ask, did you help mobilize?
Exactly.
Are you part of the solution, or you just simply compounding a problem that may just exist in the midst of your ego? That's all it is. Yeah. A bunch of egos. Kamala ain't called me up to know. I think, like what I see and so forth. And that is all they're good for.
But right
run them out.
Right now, I vex the crime symposium in Laventille. I gone there with a 1,000-page document to make my presentation. Kamala stop me and say, well, listen, if we listen to you, Smith, we can listen to you for the whole week, but we are limited time. So I had to beg for some extra time. So if you're getting an opportunity to expatiate and to speak at length, by all means, go there and make your contribution, man. Whether you're intellectual, whether you're middle class, whether, of course, you are part of an industry that is reeling at this point in time, then, of course, you need to go out there and you'll do better than me. You'll get more time to talk because, or express your concern, simply because there may be a less number to contend with or to compete with, as I did in Missouri on the occasion of the seminar with respect to crime and criminality.
That's right. So it's St. Joseph tonight. Anybody with the venue, of course, please share that. It's been quite a week as we continue to grow each and every day right here as part of the network. Don't forget, you have the Ground Report, you have the Observer, you have Corridor Transformation, and many others are going to be added on as things start to intensify. Right here, your one-stop shop on realmediatt.com.
Don't forget our good friend and Workers Union. Don't forget them. They're on board.
Yeah, Workers Union. How can I forget Workers Union? Great job. Great job. I don't know. I think we're supposed to get an update from Warrior Princess on her son. aka Plumpy Boss, how he's doing, whether he's stable. A lot of people have been asking about that. So a lot is taking place. And folks, please prepare yourself for our fundraiser, our barbecue fundraiser. We're looking for a place that can facilitate those in South. They have also a venue in the East, a venue in the North. So it makes it easier when you get the tickets and you're selling it. You can go on whatever given day and help us as we prepare. Go out there with community microphone. We have to raise the funds to make sure that we bring everything to you. So please prepare for that. I'll tell you more about that next week. So those of you wanting tickets and what have you, when we finalize as part of our fundraiser right here on the Ground Report.
Mikey,
Well, it's been a pleasure, folks. Don't forget. Yeah,
Mikey, and please,
LENNOX?
and please leave me in Port of Spain, please. Let Andy go in the east and you go in the south and so on, because of course one of the occasions we hold these fundraisers are really to interact with people physically, and therefore you get an opportunity to see physically the people who you have been hearing indirectly on a daily basis.
All right, so it's tonight, Melal Street, opposite the Aranguez Hardware in Aranguez. It's the UNC pre-budget consultation. So don't forget, check it out tonight. I believe it begins at 6 p.m. or could be earlier, but we'll try to get some more information to you during the course of the day in the chat room. Andy, you wanted to say something?
Yes. Well, remember how it will be organized most likely is whereby, as you say, places in the east, the west, the north, the south, or however, because for LENNOX or I or you to organize, to deliver to all them people will be virtually impossible.
No. You're right. Once you get your tickets, the venues are going to be in your area. So if you're from Arima, we'll look for a venue there where you can go to a place and purchase it. If you're in South, if you're in the North, wherever, Port of Spain, we'll have to make it easier for you, of course, to just go and get it. So within a period of a week, the business venue will be open, so you could get the barbecue on the Monday, the Tuesday, the Wednesday, whatever days of operation. So it makes it easy for everyone. So it's easily accessible and it's right there in your community. So that's what we're working on. So we'll tell you more about that next week. So don't forget to be a part of that. Get your tickets and please sell as many as you can. Thank you. Folks, don't forget later on, LENNOX Smith. I don't like to say Spargos because I think LENNOX Smith should have his own venue rather than splitting the ticket 60-40 or 80-20. He should have everything set up where, he is the attraction. And I don't like the fact that people benefiting off it, because them beers ain't go sell if LENNOX Smith in dance. That rum ain't go sell if LENNOX Smith in dance. So Spargo do better than that, man. Give my partner a better deal than that. Your business is on the map because of LENNOX dancing. It's LENNOX talent and ability that's selling your bar. Give LENNOX a better deal, man. People coming from all over the world to your bar because of LENNOX Smith to see LENNOX dance, and he ain't getting man a good cut. Folks, until Monday,
with friends
we
like
out
you,
there.
who needs anybody else? With friends like you, who needs anybody else? Have a pleasant weekend, people. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bang, bang, bang. The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and LENNOX Smith. Man. The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and LENNOX Smith. Let me see you put your hands in the air right now and push them up and up and up, up and up, up and up. When you see we hands gonna up and up, up and up, up and up. Everybody hands gonna up and up, up and up, up and up. When you see we hands gonna up and up, up and up, up and up. The place go fighting for this. Threaten this what all we know. The place will tear up for this. Threaten this what all we know. Get angry you want police. Mash up is what all we know. Boom.
Yes, people, of course, we have come to the end of today's exercise. I trust that you enjoyed it immensely, as I did. And, of course, the full team, don't forget to look forward to our fundraiser. Oh, God knows we need it. But, of course, I cannot help but be impressed with the contributions this morning. I trust that you too will be preparing, researching and so on, so that you can make your contribution as well, since of course this is an open forum. That is to say, anybody can, once they have the number and they got through or they got our attention, you can make your contribution. Be prepared as we share information for you to act in your own best interest. After all, elections has results, or put another way, it must have results but has consequences as well. And of course, what we experienced in the last 9 years must never again revisit Trinidad and Tobago. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Don't forget, of course, that tonight no corridor transformation. And as Mikey and they say, of course, with friends like those, who needs enemies or who needs otherwise. But the fact of the matter is that no corridor tonight. Of course, tomorrow night we continue Saturday night with the corridor transformation. Have a wonderful rest of the day. God bless. Bye bye.
Shaking. I don't mind approaching. Me love how your bam bam talking. Now I got your attention. Can I ask a question? Tell me if your man are wrong. Well, I want another one. Now I'm so bad, boy. Now I'm so bad, boy. Now I'm so bad, boy. Now I'm so bad. I want another one. Now I'm so bad, boy. Now I'm so bad, boy. Now I'm so bad, boy. Now I'm so bad.
It on me and got me feeling like this.
Give me what you got for me. Don't bother.
This is my favorite song. Can't do anything you want and I won't resist.
Give me what you got for me. Don't bother. Give me.
You can bring me on this ball, make your body be the control. If the music stop, take a little wine on this spot. Look me in my face when you're giving me plenty ways. Maybe show them how we just done the best.
The party bad, bad. The party bad, real bad. The party bad, bad, bad. Yeah.
From my rich inside the session, I drunk already. I see a sexy girl, I want to walk already. I drink about 10 buckle of rum already. I don't take a selfie, Instagram already. I'm moving like a madman. Whoa, it's problems in this session. Whoa, give me space like a pedestrian. Whoa, and please don't ask no question. Whoa, more rum, no water. Party getting hotter. All them girls well looking good. I come to deal with your matter. Sick, no doctor. Mash up the dance like tractor. Fretting is my religion. DJ is the pastor. Just give me rum, a bucket or a drum. All on the ground. Them woman whining down. Mass in the place, she whining in the face. Don't take it wrong, it's so we don't get trust.
Hey, straight off the jumbo jet. 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 Straight from the airport, straight in the fit. Straight off the jumbo jet. Hey, straight off the jumbo jet. Straight off the jumbo jet.
Coming for more, boom. When you see we clear out the way.
Kaboom! It's restricted zone.
When you see we clear out the way. Alright. When you see me in the van, leave me alone. When you see me in the bed, leave me alone. Alcohol in me hand, leave me alone. When you see me in the van, leave me alone. Alright now, heck it. Like a Baptist we coming down. We beating drum and we a kingdom. Don't come around cause you know we dumb. I don't care what they say, pushing you down want you in my way. I'm a real mad man, I can't change my way. Real mad man, I can't change my way. Fellas, if your girlfriend pass out, you should spec her out, touchy. I that kind of stupid jab, no other jab, no bad like that. I see, I'm mad. We black and ugly, we black and ugly. When you see we clear out the way. When you see we clear out the way. Alright. When you see me in the van, leave me alone. When you see me in the bed, leave me alone. Alcohol in me hand, leave me alone. When you see me in the van, leave me alone. Alright.
If you take a knife and you cut my skin, I show you go see. We share the same blood. Yeah. All of we coming from different ends. Look deep in your history. We from the same cloth. Don't tell me about you more blessed than me. Take away everything and then tell me who you'll be. Take a drink with me. It don't matter where you're from. All of we is one. Put up your hand because we is more than friend. Jump up, we is more than friend. More precious than gold and gem. We tight like a wedding ring. I say we is more than friend. All of we is more than friend. Together like ink and pen. We closer than 9 and 10. All of we is day one. We set it since day one. From night till the day come. We under the same sun. Jump up with your day one. Don't stop being afraid, come. We all in the same
Turn up the mic. Hey. When I say I'm fed up with heart, all you feel is joke I'm making. I don't want to hate on love, but sometimes I keep debating. She say she only lover, she only friend. We make a wish, now eat with pen. I sleep and I had a dream, wake up and I make a vow. Soon as everything complete, we saw one all. What I do again?
Yes, people, I'm still here, enjoying the music, and of course, generating a prelude, a preparatory mood to be across, not too far, in Spagos, of course, as my friend would have, of course, indicate to you, but of course, in a most jocular sense. But it's serious business on a Friday for me, because it's the only time I have an opportunity to recreate and to, of course, bust a sweat. Once again, have a wonderful and enjoy the music while it lasts.
I buy she chocolate, I buy she rose. I push she out, I take she back, I pick up the clothes. I never leave her, when people tell me she hot. And now she find a man and she telling me she done. What I do wrong again, lad? Tell me what I do wrong again. People calling me them lad. They say I get hard again. 3, 4. So when I dead, put jab on me tombstone. Man, when I dead, put jab on me tombstone. What man? I'm telling you, black blood in me vein, black blood in me vein, black blood in me vein. Mass we going insane. Black blood in we vein.